Those are the wild card contenders, but a lot will change before this day is over. Could happen right here at Giant Stadium. Last week in San Francisco, as the 49ers sewed up the NFC's Western Division Championship, Scott Brunner, the Giant quarterback, suffered 3 interceptions. Not all his fault. That one bounced off the hands of Tom Mulledy and was picked off by Dwight Hicks. In the meantime, the Giant defense has kept them in wild card contention. Bill Neal, a surprise, has been one of the leaders on defense. We'll watch number 77 today. In the meantime, in Pittsburgh, the Los Angeles Rams suffered one of the most frustrating days in their history. Shut out by the Steelers. This is one of the interceptions thrown by Pat Hayden, picked off by Jack Ham. It was on that play that Hayden was injured. Here's how it happened. The Rams think this was a quip, and indeed they might be right. Hayden injured his shoulder. There was some doubt about whether or not he'd be able to play today, but he will start at quarterback as the Rams meet the Giants.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Los Angeles Rams against the New York Giants.
Calling it the Meadowlands might be a little bit misleading today because it hardly resembles anything like the Meadowlands. Winds up to 40 miles an hour for the match between the Rams and the Giants. And good afternoon. I'd like to be able to say that. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden, but it isn't a good afternoon. 40 mile an hour winds, John, that's got to affect the football game.
It'll affect the game. As we see the flags here in that wind, there's no way when they're going against the wind that they can have any pass offense at all. So the team that has the win has to make something happen when they have it, because when they get against it, Pat, they won't be able to throw the ball today.
You saw those standings, the wild card possibilities a little bit earlier. The Giants do have a chance, a mathematical chance of being in the playoffs, and a winning season, I think, perhaps means a little bit more to them. I don't want to minimize what the Rams are trying to accomplish, but I think it means more to the Giants.
I think it would mean a lot more to the Giants, because if they could have a break-even or a winning season, then that would be a big thing for them. It would be something that they could hang their hat on improvement. You know, we were a lot better this year and really look forward to next year. Now, the Rams, they have to be down because they're always thinking playoffs. They're thinking Super Bowl contention. This year, they're really out of it. So I would say that the motivation today has to be on the side of the New York Giants.
John, you look right now at Pat Hayden, who will start at quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. Cold, windy. As I mentioned, winds of up to 40 miles an hour. The Rams will kick off. Frank Corral. And he'll have that substantial wind at his back. Andy Pittman standing in the middle back for the Giants, number 82. The ball blow off the tee, and that's going to be happening a lot this afternoon.
They'll probably end up having someone hold the ball for them, like they do on an extra point or a field goal.
A very unique situation has arisen in that the Rams, John, won the toss and chose to kick off.
So that means in the second half now, the Giants will have the choice, and they can either receive again or kick off themselves.
Does have someone hold. The ball soars way deep into the end zone. The Giants wisely do not bring it out. Mike Dennis stays back in there. The Giants will take over. First down at their own 20. Here are the Giant offensive backs and receivers. Brunner, the quarterback. Ike Forte and Rob Carpenter, the runners. Mike Freedy and Johnny Perkins, the wide receivers. But going in this direction, it'll be tough to put anything in the air. Gary Shirk, the tight end. Westenard, Black Turner, and Gordon King, the offensive front. We'll check the Ram defense in just a minute. They play with 4 down linemen. First and 10 at the 20. Right ahead is Rob Carpenter, a couple. Look at that Ram defense and the great names that they have had and still have in that unit. Jack Youngblood, Mike Fanning, Reggie Dawson, Cody Jones up front. And you wonder why their record is not better than it is. Those are the linebackers. And the secondary, Leroy Irvin starting in place of Pat Thomas, Perry, Johnson, and Cromwell. A lot of talent there. Second down 8. Busted play. Everybody went the wrong way, Jim Youngblood takes down Scott Bruner. Tough day to play football.
It is a tough day, and I'll tell you, the other thing is the team that is going against the wind like the Giants are, they can't afford to have a mistake because, like that type of thing or an interception or fumbles or anything, because it would be a big plus to have the win plus good field position.
Ivory Sully and Lucius Smith come into the Ram defensive alignment. It's going to be awfully hard to throw anything in this direction. Scott Bruner. Johnny Perkins in motion. Bruner drops. Throws and overthrows. Intended, I believe, for either Perkins or Carpenter. But no chance. Too hard. And the Giants' Dave Jennings will have to punt.
Now, this is going to be fun to watch, Pat, is this punt. I was watching them in the pregame warm-up, and they were only punting the ball about 25 or 30 yards. Not going to have that average on this punt, that 44.1.
He'll have to wait until they change into the field to work on his average. Leroy Irvin, a very dangerous punt returner, standing back at his own 45-yard line. Jennings waiting for the snap. It is a good one. Line drive kick should be returned. Irvin handles cleanly. Leroy Irvin gets back into Giant territory to the 46 before Frank Marion makes the hit. It'll be first down Rams in good field position, and maybe that decision to kick off will pay off early dividends. Here's the Ram offensive unit. Hayden, the quarterback. Mike Gooman starting at fullback in place of Cullen Bryant. Wendell Tyler, Denard, and Billy Waddy, the wide receivers. The offensive line sort of remade. You can see some strange names in there. And we'll check the Giant defense in just a minute. Tyler is the deep back. Wendell Tyler, perhaps a yard hit by Gary Jeter. Here is the Giant three-man front, McGriff, Neal, and Jeter. The linebackers, Byron Hunt starting in place of Brad Van Pelt. Brian Kelly, Carson, and Lawrence Taylor. And the secondary, and they're playing well too, Haynes, Jackson, Courier, and Beasley Riggs. Denard and Waddy both wide to the left. That's Gooman swinging in motion. Hayden brings back to Wendell Tyler. Tyler with some room. First down Rams inside the 35 to about the 34. Beasley Reese stripped him up.
That was one of those deals where the defense overreacted. We'll see it again here, and you watch the Giant defense. Now watch them. They all go out here to the left. You see them to the left. Now watch back here. See Jeter overplayed the thing. Tyler started to the right, and boom, had big room back to the outside.
First down Rams. Giant 32-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Two men in motion. Can't do that. Here's Tyler again tripped up. Penalty markers all over the place as the Rams had two in motion and Tyler's down. Wendell Tyler took a pretty good hit on a play that's going to be called back, I'd think, and he's still down. Harry Carson made the contact that caused Tyler to stay down.
We were talking about the Rams, and they're not having the year that they expected. And one of the strengths of the Rams has always been that offensive line. And Rich Saul, the center, is the only player that has started every game because Dennis Hara is not playing today, did not start. That's Bill Bain at right guard.
Illegal motion. Two men moving. Refused. Holding. Number 61. Accepted. First down.
Rich Saul, the man that John Madden was just talking about, is the violator. Today's officials, Fred Silva, is the referee, and the rest of his crew we'll get to in just a minute. Tyler is out of the game. Jewel Thomas is in. Tyler appeared to be okay when he came out. Hayden starts Gooman in motion again. Hayden will throw if he has time. He gets it outside to Jewel Thomas. Penalty marker down, and Hayden is still down back. Hayden was hit, I believe, by Gary Jeter after he let the ball go. And that's where the flag went down.
That's right, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be roughing the passer. That'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Giants, and of course that'll get him in position. It'll give him a first down and give him the field position again.
John, I don't know how you feel about it. I think I do, but cold weather, rain, all all the other adverse elements I could tolerate as a player.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
But wind was the worst thing, I thought.
I think wind is the only thing that you can't control in a football game. You know, cold weather, you can get warm. Even wet weather, you can still play a good football game if you can keep the footballs dry. But wind, you just can't play going in one direction.
Wendell Tyler back in the contest for the Rams. This time it's Gooman over the right side, spinning down to about the 16. Bill Courier made the stop.
You know, talking about the cold, when we went to the Ram practice yesterday, to a person, they were all talking about the weather. You know, I don't know that you ever get used to this, but I know if you're from Los Angeles, you sure aren't used to it.
The only person that I can think of who might be used to it is Bud Grant.
But he's not from Los Angeles.
Not in a long time. Second down. They need 4 from the 16. Gooman in motion. This is Tyler. Wendell Tyler hurdles down for a first down to about the 9-yard line, perhaps the 10. Beasley Reese made the stop. That's a pretty good idea. You get that as you look at Ray Perkins and what kind of day it is.
Watch this again. It's just a little cutback. You see, this is one thing that they can do on artificial turf. They can start that move, and they can make those little quick moves when they see an opening or a soft spot in the defense.
Good block by Saul to set up that gain, and first down for the Rams. It'll be first and goal, I believe. This is Tyler again. Wendell Tyler bangs down inside the 5 to about the 4 before, once again, Beasley Reese has to make the tackle. Don't forget, he's a safety man.
That's right. That's always an indicator of how your run defense is doing, the number of tackles that a safety has to make. You like most of those tackles, of course, to be made by the line or linebacker.
On the tackle. Ball on the full.
Phil Tabors come into the Giant defense. Brian Kelly goes out. So they'll go with a 5-man front now. In this goal line situation, second down and goal. They cannot make the first down. They have to score. This is Mike Gooman. And Gooman gets to about the 2 before he's knocked down. Beasley Reese again on the bottom of that pile. You know, John, the Rams have scored 27 touchdowns all year long, and Wendell Tyler has scored 14 of those, over half.
I know. Wendell Tyler is the leading scorer in the NFC, and with this third down play, I would bet that the ball will go to Wendell Tyler. They just brought in 3 tight ends, so they're in a goal line run offense.
Walt Arnold, Phil McKinley, and Lewis Gilbert all in the game at the same time. It's third down from the 2, and this is Tyler. That will be his 15th touchdown of the year. Wendell Tyler makes it look easy. Rams break on top very quickly. First time they get the ball, they drive for a touchdown. Corral will try for the extra point. Nolan Cromwell is his holder.
Watch this. They ran to the strong side. You see Bill Bain, 62 pull here. He got just a little bump that he needed on Harry Carson, just enough to let Wendell Tyler get into the end zone.
That's a block by Gooman.
Watch here. We see Bain come out. He just turns out there. Now Gooman right to fullback, 44. Did a good job of kicking out on the outside to give Tyler the lane.
Nolan Cromwell holding. Kicking makes it Los Angeles leading the Giants 7-0. 9:31 left to play in the first quarter, and the Rams move out on top.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where'd he go?
The view.
I think he's lost.
Must
He
say
always
something
gets
more
lost.
somehow.
Hey, anybody miss me? What do you got there? You realize how long you've been gone? Take a look at this.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brow.
And here's to our travel agent.
Below brow.
Even Santa shops Radio Shack's spectacular Christmas sale.
This realistic 40-channel CB would be great in my sleigh. Instant switching to emergency information channels on sale for $69.95. And Radio Shack's deluxe pocket calculator, perfect for adding up my toy inventory. Large bright display and 4-key memory on sale for $14.95.
I knew these would make Santa happy.
Even Santa's Christmas dreams come true. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
At the Meadowlands Giant Stadium, the event you might have just joined us. 40-mile-an-hour winds are the order of the afternoon. You look at the deep man for the Giants, Danny Pittman, standing at his goal line, and you can see from that things are pretty well stretched out. That was the Rams scoring drive. They lead 7-0. Tyler, the touchdown, his 15th of the year. Took him 8 plays. Here's Corral to kick it. In the direction of Mike Dennis. Danny Pittman takes it instead. Pittman looking for someplace to go. Cuts upfield outside the 20 to the 27. George Andrews made the stop. Rams will go on defense, and the Giants operating against that fierce wind with Scott Brunner at quarterback. Next Saturday, the NCAA on CBS. Wake Forest against Marquette. USC against Long Beach State. 1:30 Eastern. And the rest of next Saturday. The NFL today has the Minnesota Vikings against Detroit. A game that could be very, very significant. First down Giants.
Those guys can handle that cold weather.
Brady was in motion. Bruner's handoff is to Rob Carpenter. And he got about 3 right straight up the middle before he stripped up by Mike Fanning.
You know, it's interesting watching a Giant bench here, Pat, and how Coach Perkins, they're watching the time now. That's 9:06 in the first quarter because they want to get this quarter over so they can get the ball going with the wind and get this part of it over and hold Los Angeles down.
Winds like this, all the preliminary preparation and game plans can go right out the window. Because the conditions dictate what you can do. Here's Brunner. Outside Carpenter over his head. Carpenter wasn't sure. He thought it might have been a lateral, but it was a forward pass.
You know, you're right. It looks like the feeling on both of these teams here is just a feeling of survival, trying to survive. Now, he was looking for his tight end. You see, he had Shirk there. He wasn't open, and he had to turn and come off to Rob Carpenter, and he just threw it a little high.
Saw Carpenter chasing. He thought it could possibly have been a lateral. It wasn't. It was a forward pass, 3rd and 6, and here's their efficiency. That's not quite effective enough. Perkins going back in motion. Brunner, the quarterback. Youngblood leaps offside. Brunner staying in the pocket, finally throws outside and throws it away. In the direction of Carpenter.
Oh, that was a bad one. That's one of the time it looks like the Giant pass receiver stopped running because that's one time you get a free play. When the defense jumps offside like that and the whistle doesn't blow, you get a free play. Even if you throw an interception, it comes back again. But it looks like someone saw him offsides and everyone stopped running their pass pattern.
Defense, number 85. Offside. 3rd down.
Even with the penalty, it's still not enough for a first down as Jack Youngblood, the veteran from Florida, is the man who jumped offside.
The big thing about that penalty, though, it takes the Giants out of a passing situation and puts them into a possible run situation to pick up a first down.
Mike Forte and Rob Carpenter behind Scott Brunner. They operate with 3 tight ends. Pardon, it's Leon Perry. Not Forte. Carpenter, with his second effort, got the first down. He didn't have it in the beginning. Now he does. George Andrews made the tackle. First down, Giants.
Carpenter lost his left sock. Look at that. They got everything. They didn't get him, but they got that left leg of his because, as you say, he was stopped on that first effort, and he just kept going and made the first down.
Rob Carpenter. What an addition he's been to this Giant team. Most impressive numbers since Ron Johnson. And that's Carpenter again. Stopped by Mike Fanning.
You You know, the one thing that Carpenter has done is let the Giants use this formation that they just used there with the two tight ends, and I think that's been a real good thing for them. The two tight ends, two wide receivers, only one back in the backfield, and when you do that, you need a runner like Rob Carpenter who can pick up something and feel holes and pick up yardage with one back.
It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 42. Forte is back with Carpenter now. Ike Forte. Makes one tackle, gets to the outside, got some room. Ike Forte, a Giant first down in Ram territory, knocked out of bounds at the 42 by Andrews again.
This is one thing about the Rams that have really changed. They used to be the toughest team in the league to run against. But now watch him here. Again, you see Forte starts out to the middle, missed tackle there, just bounces outside, get everyone caught up inside, and he picked up a first down. You never used to be able to do that against the Rams.
There's some different people on that defense. First down Giants at the Ram 43, they say. Los Angeles leading 7-0. Giants trying to stay alive in that playoff picture. Here's Forte again. Perhaps a yard by Carl Eckern. Tripped him up.
You know, those two first downs were big first downs for the Giants because they can change or control field position here.
The Eagles staggering a little bit of late. Trail Washington 6-0, a 6-yard, beg your pardon. Washington leads 6-0. 6-yard run by Joe Washington.
The Eagles have lost 2 in a row. I wouldn't expect them to lose 3 in a row.
Redskins can move it, however, of late. 2nd down 10 at the 43. This is Carpenter to the outside. Some room, breaks one tackle. Jim Youngblood took him out of bounds after about 4.
That was Leroy Irvin, who's taken the place of Pat Thomas, and he came up to tackle, and he just didn't wrap his arm, so Carpenter was able to pick up a couple more yards. You know, yesterday Ray Perkins was telling us that he wants to get in at least 3rd and 6. He never wants to be 3rd and more than 6 yards to go on first down, because he thinks if they were 3rd and 6 that they can pick up every first down in that situation. Those are strong words.
They are strong, but there's some strong winds to go along with that. I think that might change. Here's Brunner. Chased by Fanning. Pass off the hands of Ike Forte.
I'll tell you, these fans are booing now because they know what, last week the Giants dropped 8 passes in their game, and I think before that they probably lead the league. They don't keep stats on it, but they probably lead the league in drop passes.
4th down. They still need 6. It looks like they're going for it. Bruner's still in the game. And again, he's looking over to the sideline for some kind of help, and now he's going to take a timeout.
He was looking to see the punt team come in. With this wind, it wouldn't be a bad play to punt the ball. I don't know if you want to go on 4th down here, because if you don't make it, then you're giving the Rams 1 good field position and 2 the wind.
Brunner over talking to Ray Perkins at the moment. The indecision. There's Dave Jennings off to the left with the big red mittens on. Rams lead 7-0.
Subaru owners have a lot in common besides all the different models they own. With front-wheel drive or on-demand 4-wheel drive. They also share a habit of trading in one Subaru for another Subaru. No leading import is higher than Subaru in owner loyalty. People stick with a car they don't get stuck with. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Jim and I are going to go take a look at the Melrose house. When you choose Nationwide Insurance,
Good morning, Bill.
Your Nationwide agent has partners, claims adjusters for your home.
Boy, what a mess. Looks like it started in the basement.
Your car and your business.
Header panel, transmission cooler, AC. Back to you on this. Just
Agents and adjusters working together. It's all part of Nationwide's blanket protection.
Nationwide is on your side.
you have questions, we're going after the answers on the CBS Evening News.
John, what could be Ray Perkins' reason for going on 4th and 6 here this early?
Probably just that he wants to keep the ball and not let the Rams have it with the wind.
Gunnar will throw. He does have time. The pass is incomplete. But a penalty marker goes down. Let's see what that is.
It's probably holding against the Giants, and Rams will turn it down and take the ball.
Offense, holding, number 35, refused. First down.
Indeed, you're right. Ike Forte was the violator. And the Rams take it over 1st and 10. We have 6:21 still left first quarter. Second time the Rams have had the ball. The Giants picked up a couple of crucial first downs. Bought them some time against the wind. At Hayden, the quarterback for Los Angeles. Tyler and Green, the runners. Tyler's the only runner right now. He's a dandy. Maybe 4. Curtis McGriff made the stop. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update.
Pat and John, we may have an upset in the works. Ron Jaworski fumble. Redskins recover. They march in. Joe Washington gets the score from 6 yards out. They miss the extra point. That, though, could be critical. Back now to Pat and John.
The wind is the critical factor here at the Meadowlands at Giant Stadium, Brent. Rams have it right now. They're back. Billy Waddy goes in motion. Hayden drops the throw. Lots of time in the pocket. He has Grumman for a moment. Incomplete. Bill Courier, the Giant defender.
Let's watch this in the middle here now. Bill Neal and the job that he's been doing. You see it takes 2 to block him in there. Saul starts, has help from the guard on Kent Hill. But that's all a nose tackle. When you only have a 3-man rush, all he has to do is get about 4 yards penetration into the quarterback's face, which he did on that play.
And he's done it consistently throughout this year. Here's Hayden again. The numbers for him this year. 9 TDs, 12 intercepts. Giants on a blitz. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. Hayden rolls away from it. Gets away from it momentarily, and Hayden's going to run. Hayden dives inside Giant territory. That should be enough for a first down. They had him. They lost him.
You know who that was? That wasn't Lawrence Taylor's. We'll see it again. Now we'll watch Lawrence Taylor come from the right. He flushes him out. Gary, see Taylor there? Now Jeter's supposed to be right outside him, and when he got outside of Jeter there, number 70, there was no one out there. Hayden saw all green carpet, and he could get there to the first down marker, do a little slide out of bounds. You don't slide much on this artificial turf stuff, do you? Oh, that had a...
Grabs fast.
Yeah. Grabs hard.
That's Grumman getting down to about the Giant 45. The middle of their defense stacked him up. Anytime Hayden takes off, you sort of hold your breath after he was hurt last week.
Yeah, you sure do. Watch Neal in the middle there. You know, the big thing they want to do in the middle on that run is just not get knocked back. Don't get blown off. Just hold the middle solid so that those inside linebackers can do their work.
2nd and 6 from the 45 for Los Angeles. They lead 7-0 already. 4:55 left first quarter. Hayden to Tyler. Randall Tyler near a first down, about a half yard shy before Harry Carson stacked him up.
You know, one of the big differences in Wendell Tyler this year, and he's probably one of the pluses in this Ram year, is that he looks a lot stronger this year.
San Francisco beating Cincinnati. A 4-yard pass from Joe Montana to Bill Ring. 49ers continue to be tough. New England 7, Miami nothing. Kavanaugh to Hasselbeck.
You never know, do you?
A lot of unpredictable things going on. Here is Wendell Tyler for the Ram first down. Knocked backwards just a bit, but he got enough. Lawrence Taylor hit him. That should be a first.
That's what I was saying. You know, they use Wendell Tyler now in all the running situations, not only the first down, but they also use him in the short yardage situation. There's a Giant down on the field.
That's Curtis McGriff. who played so well against the run. Interesting the things that Ray Perkins was telling us about him yesterday. Right now he's in agony.
We were talking to Ray Perkins and asking why he wasn't drafted or drafted higher and why everyone didn't know him. But he said, well, when he was in college and when he first came here, he was too lazy. He said he wasn't a good player. And then in the off season, he really went to work and he's really in great shape. Now watch him on the left part of the screen here. See right up there in the top, number 76, we see him. They start an influence block, go to the outside. Now what happens, Rich Saul, the center, went into his right leg. He was blocking Bill Neal, and Neal just rode him down, and he wasn't blocked. He was run into by Saul.
You could see that leg cave in as he got hit from the side. George Martin has taken his place as Ray Perkins looks on from the sideline. He looks like he's well equipped, but he doesn't look very warm, does he? Rams 7, the Giants nothing.
This roomy, inexpensive Subaru station wagon not only goes far on a gallon of gas, it also goes almost anywhere on a gallon of gas, thanks to front-wheel drive. But if you want more traction than our wagon with front-wheel drive, we suggest our wagon with on-demand four-wheel drive. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
And it's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox. Then one day...
this compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. It's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know, it's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox.
The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
McGriff is out, Martin is in. There goes Curtis McGriff. It's not a very encouraging sight, is it?
It sure isn't. That's the most difficult thing, those knee injuries.
Here is Hayden, and that one just took off. Sometimes it can be very difficult to throw with the wind.
As you say, it took off. He got it up there in the air and just boom, it just got it, and he darn near threw it. He darn near threw it over the goalpost and got caught up there in that jet stream.
They said he couldn't throw deep.
He sure can when he has this wind with him. I think I could throw deep.
1 out of 3 for 4 yards. Rams have the football with 3:47 left first quarter. They lead 7-0. Line of scrimmage, the Giants 38. Going to happen today as far as looking ahead to what happens in the playoffs. A lot of key matchups. We'll keep you up to date on those. Hayden fumbles the snap from center. He got it back.
He was talking to Rich Saul on that play about did Saul center it too soon or did he leave too soon. There's Ray Malavasi, the head coach of the Rams. He's used to this weather. You know, he lived right across the river in Clifton, New Jersey. He was brought up.
Just about 5 minutes away from here.
He's been gone for a long time.
The early word on Curtis McGriff is that he has a torn ligament. It didn't take him long to diagnose that. Here's Hayden, penalty marker down. Hayden throws over the middle. Billy Waddy. Preston Denard, I beg your pardon.
Well, it was Billy Waddy who was in motion. Now you could come in motion before the ball snapped, but he started forward before the ball was snapped, so it'll be against the Rams, illegal motion. They'll bring that one back and do it over again 5 yards deeper.
They did not have enough yardage for a first down, about a yard shy of that. I would think, though, that if they consider field goal, Corral could get it there from here easily with the wind at his back. So they do accept the penalty. Fred Silva.
Offense, number 80. Illegal motion. Third down.
Okay, now 80, Billy Waddy is coming here in motion. See, now he starts upfield before the ball snapped. Now he can come in motion, but you can't start forward until the ball's centered.
Denard and Waddy both come wide to the left. Drew Hill, another wide receiver. They'll split out wide to the right. Here's Martin chasing Hayden. He gets away again. And finally, Bill Neal is the first man there. And Jeter helped him out. And the Rams will have to punt.
That's what by Doug Smith. He beats Doug Smith. Now then, Pat Hayden is great at this. This is one thing that he can do. Now, see from his right side, see Martin come here. He feels that, makes a little step again, and now Bill Neal says, you got away from him. You're not going to get away from me, Pat. And the thing that Bill Neal did is he didn't leave his feet. He stayed on his feet.
Number 3 is Frank Corral. Leon Bright back deep for the Giants. Almost got away from Corral. He does get the kick off. It's a funny looking kick, but it's very effective. Goes out of bounds inside the Giant 10, about the 9, where the Giants will take over still against that vicious wind.
That's the thing. It's like that pass of Pat Hayden's on a kick. The only thing you have to do is get it off. Watch here. The wind will do the rest of the job. Boom, a little sidewinder, gets it up there in the wind, and there it goes.
If you've ever had the feeling you had to wait forever for a Subaru station wagon, here's good news. They're available now with on-demand four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. But because of Subaru mileage, Subaru sticker prices, and Subaru durability, better see your Subaru dealer soon before they start disappearing again. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Even if you use unleaded regular gas, you're probably burning more octane than you have to. That means you may be spending more money than you need to.
We're doing something about it.
At Sunoco, we give our customers a choice. They can use our unleaded economy. It's got all the octane most cars need. Costs less than our regular. And only Sunoco has it.
With Sunoco's economy, I know I'm getting economy.
We're doing something about it.
Saturday, get into the spirit with NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. Wake Forest meets Marquette and USC takes on Long Beach State in regional action. Saturday on CBS Sports.
Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing at Giant Stadium. Giants have the ball. Scott Brunner, their quarterback. 1st and 10 from their own 9. Perkins in motion. Forte, who dives out for 3 or 4 outside the 10 to about the 12 before Reggie Doss tripped him up. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Giants and the National Football League is prohibited.
The Giants went for it on 4th down, and of course they didn't make it. The Rams got the ball, and it really hasn't hurt the Giants as far as the score because the Rams didn't score, but it did hurt them in this poor field position.
In a minute 45, they'll have the wind at their back. Carpenter really, just as the hole opened at the line of scrimmage, hit by George Andrews, and he will hit.
That was one of those counters that didn't work. We'll see Carpenter here. He'll take a little step to the left. You see, he'll start out to the left to hold him. It didn't. And Rodgers saw that, and he came from his right side linebacker and made the play. He didn't go for the counter fake.
Ram coaches signaling frantically just a minute ago for that Ram defense to call a timeout. They want to take advantage of that wind as much as they can. I hate to belabor that point about the wind, but it really is dictating what's going on the football field.
As you say, they would like to get the ball at least one more time before they lose this wind.
You look at the Central Division of the NFC momentarily here. Here's what's happening right now. Minnesota, Detroit, and Tampa Bay all at 7-6. So is Atlanta. Atlanta is playing at Tampa today.
You know, of all
things can change.
Excuse me, Pat. You know, of all these teams, I think Detroit is probably playing the best of them all at this time.
Ray Malavasi. A lot of family, a lot of friends here today.
And that's Lionel Taylor there with him. We played against him for years when he was with the Denver Broncos. In fact, he played with the Raiders for a year.
Next Sunday, a doubleheader here on CBS. NFL Today begins it all, of course. Green Bay at New Orleans, and the Giants will be at St. Louis. And the doubleheader game, and John and I will be in Dallas for the match between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
That's one that'll be a real shootout, won't it?
It always is. Well, it certainly has been in recent years.
That umpire, he has to he has to stand there and hold the ball with his feet so it doesn't blow away.
I guarantee you that headband he's got on is not for perspiration. In flat, the Giants center. Wind still swirling around. Bruner gets it outside in the direction of Rob Carpenter. Rams had a blitz going. Jim Youngblood on the coverage of Carpenter, and this strategy at least works in that the Giants will have to punt to the Rams against this vicious wind, and so maybe taking that timeout paid off.
Well, he wanted to take the timeout, then go with his substitution defense and blitz and maybe get a sack, and now, of course, the incomplete pass, the clock stops, and it will also stop at change of possession.
And the dangerous Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. Jennings standing at his own goal line. Rams do not try to block it. Jennings gets off a line shot again. Irvin will field, backs up, gets away from one Giant tackler. Penalty marker goes down, and it'll chase the Rams backwards.
That may be an old-fashioned clip. You know, we're always seeing those blocking from the back above the waist. That one there may have been a clip. Nope, that's a new one.
By Lucius Smith, I believe. And so the Giants dig themselves out of a very serious hole with that kick and that clip.
On the run back, number 23, illegal push above the waist, first down.
From the back, Fred. See, he didn't say from the back. It's illegal push from the back. Let's see, we'll see it coming right in here in the screen, right there to the left. You see the push with the left arm. He had him, you know, that's the thing, when they can't cut him anymore, and they get even with him, they tend to put their hands up there.
That was Gooman in motion. This is Hayden throwing, batted around, hit by George Martin. Right now for an update, let's swing you back to New York and to Brent Musburger.
Pat, the wind is not blowing nearly as severely down in Washington. The Eagles have come back out of the shotgun. Jaworski goes to Campfield, 26-yard touchdown. Franklin's extra point has the Eagles ahead by 1. Let's go back now to Pat Summerall.
And Brent, here the score is 7-0 Los Angeles with 1 minute 4 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Arnold in motion. Here's Hayden. Use that wind while you can. He throws outside to Wendell Tyler. Tyler slips one tackle, gets outside the 40 to the 41 before Brian Kelly takes him down. It'll be third down.
Right at the time that Pat Hayden threw that ball, because we just saw him get up there, he was hit by George Martin, and he really didn't see the completion. I'm surprised that the Rams, with 41 seconds, aren't hurrying up here or in their passing, throwing it more up the field. They went for a little pass in the flat on second down, and on first down they went for a screen. If you're going to use the wind, you ought to get that ball up into the wind and see if you can get a big one.
23 seconds left in the first quarter. Change ends. Taylor on a blitz this time. The pass is complete to Arnold. That'll be enough for a first down. Brian Kelly made the tackle. The Rams will move the sticks, however.
And that'll take the quarter up also, so now they're going to have to go against the wind. Watch this, they have good pass protection in there. See, they get Jeter going into the inside, Irv Pankey does, and then Pat Hayden has to have that little hole to step up and throw into the middle.
So that's the end of the first quarter with the score, the Los Angeles Rams 7, the Giants nothing, and they'll change in.
How does one become a member of the U.S. ski team? First, you have to be great on hills. Then you need the endurance to overcome tough obstacles cross-country. Finally, you have to earn your right to be called a champion. And then, and only then, will you be accepted to the United States ski team. Like the Subaru on-demand four-wheel drive wagon, official car of the U.S. ski team.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
So long, fellas. Hey, Jim, how you doing? I'm hot, cold, thirsty. Call me a cab. 10 minutes, I'll have you back at the lodge. I can't make it. 10 minutes, I'll have you back at the lodge drinking a Lowenbrow. I can make it.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Where would I be without you guys?
Probably still out there in the snow somewhere.
Right Guard knows a man needs all the protection he can get. That's why Right Guard Solid has an action-triggered formula. Triggered to release protection when your body needs it most. So the more you sweat, the more protection you get. Right Guard action-triggered formula helps keep you dry and odor-free all day. Right Guard Antiperspirant Solid. The more you sweat, the more protection you get.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Lowenbrow. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrow.
You're looking at Giant Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Windy, blustery day. Winds, in case you just joined us, up to 40 miles an hour. And very cold as Mike Gooman gets the carry for Los Angeles and gets about 4. Byron Hunt made the tackle. Time of possession first quarter. Rams had it most of the time. 9:04, 5:56 for the Giants.
Now the Giants want to get it back because then they'll have the ball in to win.
They give Gooman 4, so we'll make it 2nd and 6. Giant head coach Ray Perkins. Played most of his career with Baltimore, of course. Coached in New England, coached at San Diego. Gooman again, and he is about a yard shy of a first down before Gary Jeter makes the stop. Gooman starting in place of Cullen Bryant.
That was a move that the Rams made, I guess 2 weeks ago. They started Cullen Bryant, brought Gooman in on the second series, and he played the whole game. He started last week against the Steelers and played the whole game with the exception of one play. And the reason they did that is because he has a little more speed, and he's more of a pass receiving threat than Cullen Bryant was.
Pretty tough to measure today. You can't keep the object still.
The ball won't sit still for those right foot, left foot. You know, they have to get a little wobble job as they come in here. They start down that thing, and the left foot wobbles and the right foot wobbles, and wherever it lines up, they take it.
Gooman did get enough for a first down. Rams send their 2 wide receivers, Waddy and Denard, both wide to the right. They send Gooman in motion to the left. This is Wendell Tyler. Wendell gets to perhaps the 40 before he's stacked up by a Giant defense led by Brian Kelly.
You know, again, the first thing, it starts here in the middle. You see, they have to hold that whole side up so they don't get anything out there. Now, see Taylor, he's going against Arnold there, plays off the tight end, just as that whole thing solid. Byron Hunt comes in from the backside. A lot of blue jerseys got there.
Call it 2nd and 8. There's Lawrence Taylor, the spectacular rookie of the Giants. Here's Wendell Tyler. Swings around one blocker. Gets just inside the 40. Hit down hard by Bill Courier and Beasley Reese. Mark Haynes also there on the tackle. He's playing well.
Now let's see what the Rams are going to do, again, going into the win with a 3rd and long situation. See if they'll get the ball up the field.
3rd down and 7. I'm sure the weather must be a little bit more pleasant in Los Angeles than it is here. Your team is cold. They lead 7-0, however. Here's Hayden. Inside handoff to Tyler, who bangs down on the inside trap. Stopped finally by Byron Hunt. He's very close to a first down.
It was a good call in that situation. I'm sure that the Giants were expecting pass. They widened out a little to get in pass rushing positions, and they just ran an inside trap to Wendell Tyler.
And Tyler comes off holding his left arm. He took a pretty good blow on that side.
And I'll tell you, and it just has to hurt all the more with this These people just aren't used to it. It's just tough to take. That cold in itself hurts.
Hayden comes strolling off as the Rams have taken a timeout. And Tyler is in pain over on the sideline. I'll never forget in the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh when Tyler kept coming out injured and you thought he'd never be back. In the next series of offense, he would be back. Right now, the Rams lead at 7-0, and we're in the first quarter.
Dear Santa, all I want is a kitty. Love, Shauna. Christmas is full of beautiful moments, and I capture them with this Kodak camera with Sensolite Flash, the latest thing in built-in flash. It knows whenever I need more light and flashes automatically. So whenever you want to capture magic moments, count on Sensolite Flash.
He's beautiful.
Sensolite Flash, only from Kodak, America's storyteller.
Cadillac 1982. Who deserves one more than you? A Sedan DeVille, Coupe DeVille, or Fleetwood Brougham. Cars that say quality at every turn. A new front-wheel drive Eldorado with engineering as advanced as its styling. Or the top of our line, Seville. Whichever model you choose.
Best of all, it's a Cadillac.
Monday, the pampered Private Benjamin tries to trap the Canton loan shark. Then Nan hires Brentwood as a tutor, but will Gabby pass the test? The two of us in Private Benjamin Monday.
We have 12:27 left to play in the first half with the Rams leading 7-0. It seems to be Wendell Tyler's left hand that was injured. The Rams go for it. Jewel Thomas and Gooman, the two runners. Thomas. He is tripped up shy of the first down by Mark Haynes. Good play.
I'll tell you who really made that play, though, Pat, was Bill Courier. He was a strong safety, and he got penetration. He got up into the backfield. Let's see if we can see it here. Now watch, number 29, we'll see Bill Courier come up. Now, we see the handoff. Now watch here, 62 is going to block him. See it right there. Now he got that penetration so that Haynes could come in and catch Thomas before he got the first down.
Good defense by the Giants. First down for the Giants at their own 34. Brunner with the wind at his back fires. Intended for Ernest Gray. A penalty marker is down. It could be and should be and probably will be holding.
I'm sure it was and is and will be holding, which will bring a 10-yard penalty and still first down.
Red Silva. His 15th year as an NFL official.
Number 73, holding, first down.
Jeff Weston.
Let's see if we can see the holding. It's a left tackle there. It's right there in the upper left-hand part of the screen, the right-hand part of the screen, right there where he had his hands in, and then he got his right hand to the outside.
Cody Jones got to the inside, and Weston had to grab on. Here's Brunner. Intended for Ike Forte, and if you ever wanted a good example of a man looking upfield before he had it caught, there's one right there. You could see him take his eyes off of it.
And at some point here, Ray Perkins really has to be upset with these drops. It's just something that happens, and maybe it's contagious because it's not only one person. It's the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs. They just all drop the ball on this football team.
Upset indeed. He took Ike Forte out and goes with one lone running back. Rob Carpenter, two tight ends. Winner drops. Dave Young manages to hang on, and ironically, in training camp and earlier this year, he was the one who was dropping all the passes. Now he gets Brunner's first completion of the day.
That's right. And Ray Perkins said that he wanted to play Dave Young more and more. He moved him up from the third tight end to the second tight end over Tom Mulledy, and he plays in the two tight end situations.
Young is a rookie from Purdue, 6'6", and 240, and can run.
And that's big enough to play.
It'll be third down 10 at the 35. Three wide receivers. good rush. Perkins, Bruner had it there. Hard pass to catch, however. Nolan Cromwell was with him, as was Leroy Irvin.
That was a tough one here because it's double coverage. We'll see in the inside here, we see number 47. Irvin is with him, and watch Cromwell come in. He was really double teamed, and that was just one of those things that didn't work. The Rams are very tough to throw against in third and long yardage, and that's why they're number one in pass defense in the NFC.
Leroy Irvin, very dangerous. 3 touchdowns already on punt returns this year. Dave Jennings standing back at his own 20-yard line. First snap. Jennings gets it away. It's not very artistic. Irvin does handle it. All he can do is handle it. The Giants down very quickly. Ed McGlasson, the man who did the snapping, the first man down. And the Rams will take over at their own about 19-yard line, 1st and 10.
Zenith says, thank you, America.
You bought 50 million Zenith TVs, so we're saying thank you with instant rebates. A $25 rebate on many 19 and 25-inch System 3 models. $50 on 25-inch System 3 Space Command models, including the only TV that's also a telephone, System 3 with advanced space phone.
Zenith says, thank you, America.
For choosing Zenith quality 50 million times.
Toyota asked to compare their 82 four-wheel drive truck to our dirt bike. We're both tough going up mountain roads. Toyota should be. It's got one of the biggest engines in its class. And it looks pretty comfortable in there, too. Oh, come on, Toyota. The last part of the test where you carry us, then we carry you. Give me a break.
Oh, what a feeling.
The 4x4. It'll get you to the top. Comfortably.
Toyota.
Wednesday, Mr. Merlin checks into a hospital and Zach goes on a tear. Then...
Are you insane?
Is Andy dating Mrs. Carlson? Find out Wednesday.
Here's an athlete.
He didn't have the most artistic catch, but he did a great, kick, but he did a great job of fielding the ball here. See what he has to do is get down in front of it so that it doesn't get down, and he had to pull that ball off the ground. That is an athlete.
Dave Jennings. Line of scrimmage is the Ram 25, 1st and 10. Tyler and Gooman, the 2 runners. Denard in motion. This is Gooman. Back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more. George Martin and Byron Hunt swarm just as he gets back to that far. Detroit, of whom John Madden said a moment ago, all the wild card people, playing very well right now. They lead Green Bay 10-0. St. Louis not out of the picture at all. 14-3 over New Orleans, 2nd quarter. And Philadelphia has gone ahead Washington 7-6.
What Brent Musburger said on that update is so true. The Redskins missed that extra point, and it always comes back to haunt them. There you go, Brent.
It'll be 2nd and 9. Here's Tyler. He had some room early, but it all shut down as Bill Neal led the Giant defense. You can't forget about Atlanta, Johnny.
Well, I think of all the wild card teams that Atlanta is probably the best team. I think in that Central Division, I think Detroit's the best. So that's the way to get 2 of them. See that Detroit can win the Central Division and Atlanta can be the 2nd wild card.
It'll be 3rd down Rams. 3rd and 4 at their own 31. They lead 7-0. Wendell Tyler's touchdown has been the only one that's happened so far. Hayden has to run out of the pocket as Taylor was on a blitz. He throws outside, and Preston Denard is popped by Beasley Reeves, but he had enough and does have the 1st down, Los Angeles.
I tell you, Pat Hayden can make some big plays, because he can scramble a little. See, he didn't have anything. Now watch Denard here. We see Jackson. It's a zone. He starts up. He gets off Denard. Hayden bought a little time, and Denard was all out there, all by himself, until Beasley Reese showed up.
He paid the price for that completion, but Denard popped right back up. 1st down Rams, their own 43. Leading 7-0. Hand off Gooman. Much doing there. He got perhaps to the 45 for a pickup of 2 before Brian Kelly knocked him down.
That's probably the toughest play to run, is just a straight dive to your fullback against a three-man line, because all four of those linebackers can pursue and get to that ball. That Byron Hunt there, that 57, is a good-looking athlete.
Taking the place of Brad Van Pelt, the All-Pro of recent years. But Byron Hunt can play.
Yeah, and he said when he first came to camp, they called him Brian, and then he started playing pretty well, and they found out his name was really Byron.
Penalty marker down as Tyler swings off to his left side. Terry Jackson, the cornerback, came up to make the stop. 9:02 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium.
Was one that the Giants didn't want, because they were really playing the run well and strong here, and now they're going to give 5 yards. They probably lined up offside.
Defense, number 70, encroachment. Still second down.
John, the Rams, you look at Wendell Tyler's thumb and the problems he had administered to a minute ago. Rams are one of the teams who wear unusually tight jerseys and also take their shoulder pads down underneath.
All the offensive linemen have their jerseys tailored to their bodies, and then they put tape on their shoulder pads and tape the jerseys to them.
Wendell Tyler hit behind the line of scrimmage and tripped up by Lawrence Taylor. The reason they do that, of course, is to keep the defensive lineman from being able to grab onto and hold on to something.
And the way they have those jerseys, there's no way that you can grab anything. There's just nothing to grab there on those Ram offensive linemen.
Third down, about 5 at the 48. Behind Pat Hayden, quick count. Hayden rolls, throws, nothing doing. Guy number 45 spent some time in Canada. From Florida State, Corral, having a very consistent, very good year. The only man in the NFL who punts and plays kicks. In this case, it's a shank.
I don't know what he was trying to do there. You know, the idea is when you kick with the wind is to get it up in the air. When you kick against it, you try and kick a line drive, but he wanted it in the middle and not outside.
You know, baseball is the same in Japan as it is in America. You play 9 innings, 3 strikes and you're out. And after the game, there's nothing like a beer. And when Numa's in town, I treat him to light beer from Miller because it tastes great. Yeah, I know it's less filling, but we drink it because it tastes great. Listen, Numa, it tastes great. All right, it's less filling.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true. Exciting fast-action games with electronic sound effects priced from $7.95 to $79.95. Like the electronic computerized arcade, the sports stadium, 2-player baseball, Cosmic Fireaway, Space Shot, and more. Your kids can play alone or with a friend. Challenging entertainment for kids 6 to 60. Hours of fascinating fun are waiting for you only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Pat Summerall with John Madden at Giant Stadium in a brutal day in the Meadowlands. Rams leading 7-0. 40-mile-an-hour winds they're talking about throughout this afternoon. Ram touchdown by Wendell Tyler. His 15th of the year has given them the lead. This is Leon Bright being chased by Fanning Youngblood and chased finally out of bounds by Jim Youngblood.
They're talking about tough people, tough players, tough situations. These fans that are sitting here in this stadium today have to be the toughest people alive.
This is certainly one of the best football stadiums in this country. But even the best can be a little bit adverse today. It's cold and bitter.
I don't know how they can handle that. Did you see that one guy? He had an Oakland Raider cap on.
He knew you were coming here.
Thank you.
On second down, it's Carpenter. Hit quickly by Reggie Doss, but he struggles for 3 or 4 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd down situation for the Giants. Now you got to put that thing up.
Well, you know, remember Ray Perkins was telling us yesterday that he wanted to be 3rd and 6 or less. So he said, don't be surprised if you see us running on 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 to get to 3rd and 6, because then we can get a first down.
He's got 3rd and 6 now, and this is a situation where he said he felt they should be able to convert every time.
Every one.
Nobody offside. Bruner steps up in the pocket, throws for Carpenter. He's got it. Rob Carpenter all the way to the Ram 30. Jim Youngblood was back there with him, and I suppose, John, that's the situation he was talking about, that matchup.
That's the one that he was trying to get. He knew that if it was 3rd and 10, he was going to have one type of thing, but at 3rd and 6, he was going to get this where he could sneak Rob Carpenter through the line and right up the middle as he got here. We see the man-to-man thing, and Rob Carpenter got a couple steps, and that was all he needed.
37-yard pickup. Pass completion from Bruner to Carpenter. 1st and 10 Giants at the Ram 30. 6:45 left to play in the first half. Rams up 7-0. Here's Bruner to throw again. They've got Ernest Gray wide open, and Gray is popped. Incomplete. Nolan Cromwell knocked the ball loose. It's called incomplete. Gary Shirk is over to argue. Ooh, what a shot Ernest Gray took from Cromwell.
Well, what Gary Shirk is saying that he was hit before the ball got there. Let's watch it. It's a zone. Rod Perry gives Ernest Gray a bump. Now he's going. Cromwell's coming over from the outside. If he hits him before the ball gets there, it's not. Oh! Now the hit, the timing was legal, but he hit him with his left hand in the face, which is illegal. Maybe that's what Shirk was complaining about.
One of the two. The hit, as you said, John, was timed well. Can ever be timed well.
But the one thing they can't do is they can't hit him in the head.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 30. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. Phil Simms out for the year. Chased by Fanning is Bruner, and down in the arms of Johnny Johnson, the safety man. How did Fanning get loose so quickly, so deeply?
It looked like a blitz, and I'll bet you that someone picked up the blitz and didn't pick up Fanning. Fanning's right here on the left. Nope. He just beat J.T. Turner. He went right by Turner on a pass rush move. Johnny Johnson was coming up in coverage, and then he came up and got Bruner.
Fanning has been double teamed almost every week. That time he wasn't. It was such a shock.
He just gave that old head slap with that right hand. That's illegal too, you know.
Carpenter the lone set back, Perkins in motion. 3rd and 12, Bruner straight back. Backpedaling, chased by Doss. Incomplete. Knocks down the sideline marker. Hit that right between the 1 and the 0. Nobody there.
You know, with the wind here, Joe Danello can make the field goal from here.
Oh, sure.
Let's watch it here. Now, see, Bruner's looking. There's just no one open, and by the time he gets ready to throw, Reggie Doss was on his left shoulder.
Here is Danello, who's had a very hot year as well. And indeed, he can get it there. This one will be from, what, about 50 yards out? Maybe a little shy of 50. Bruner is the holder, trying to keep his hands warm. Wide left. Plenty of distance. A lot of smoke, but not much direction. So the Giants come away empty. The Rams will have a first down. And the Rams lead the Giants at the middle and 7-0.
New Backwoods Smokes just hit town. Looking wild, but tasting mild.
New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild? New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
New Backwoods Smokes. All natural tobacco, hand-rolled look in a keep 'em fresh pocket pouch.
How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
The engineers of Mercedes-Benz have created an advanced diesel power system. Its heart, this compact turbocharger. And this system has just transformed 2 more diesels into high-performance turbo diesels. Mercedes-Benz unleashes the 300D sedan and the 300 CD Coupe. Now with 45% more power. The 300D sedan and the 300 CD Coupe. The 2 newest turbo diesels from Mercedes-Benz.
They upset the Cowboys, made turkey of the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Saturday, the Detroit Lions face the Minnesota Vikings in a fight for the playoffs starting at 3:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, Saturday on CBS.
Moments ago, here's Ernest Gray.
You know, we were worrying about the pass interference or not, but it looks like here Ernest Gray had possession of that ball. You see, now watch here. He catches the ball. Watch right there. Cromwell hits him. You see, now he goes down, and that ball is still there, and the ground can't cause a fumble. He did have possession, and that should have been the Giants' ball right there. Woo.
What is happening is the Rams have it. Here's Wendell Tyler. They started from the 32, penalty marker down again. Tyler got about 3. Ooh, that's tough.
That was tough because that was a great catch by Ernest Gray, holding on to that thing until he went down.
Green Bay not out of things at all yet. Has come back 10-7. Chicago leading Minnesota 3-0. Second quarter. Philadelphia now 13-6 over the Washington Redskins.
Offense, number 56. Holding. First down.
Doug Smith will check some of the other scores from around the league in just a second. Dallas 7, Baltimore nothing. That's in Baltimore. They just started. And Miami's caught New England in the second quarter, 7-7. Here's Wendell Tyler again as the Rams operate. Byron Hunt made the stop. Tyler looks like he's shaken up again. This looks like shades of a couple of years ago. San Francisco now 7-3 over Cincinnati, second quarter. 16 degrees, by the way, in the match between Green Bay and Detroit. 39 degrees in Chicago for that match between Minnesota and the Bears. Rams 2nd and 16 at their own 26. Wendell Tyler and Mike Gooman the runners. And this is Mike Gooman. And Gooman gets a couple. Byron Hunt again the tackler.
I'll tell you, with Byron Hunt coming along as a rookie on one side, and then on the other side, of course, Lawrence Taylor, the Giants do have some future there. We were talking to Ray Perkins yesterday about the draft, and he said probably they'll look for some offensive explosion. You know, a running back in the draft or a wide receiver, some speed.
Los Angeles 5 out of 8 on third down conversions. Byron Hunt, by the way, 6'4", 230 from SMU. This is Mike Gooman, nothing doing. Bill Neal, another of those young rookies for the Giants who's played very well.
I like Bill Neal. You know, that's very important in the three-man line. See if we can watch him there. Take on Rich Saul. You see, and he didn't get any movement there. The big thing, again, about the nose tackle on the run, don't go backwards. Hold your ground as long as you can and wait and let the ball come to you.
Madden, he's 6'4", 255. Not the ideal size, they think, for a nose tackle.
He's a little tall. Most nose tackles seem to be around 6'1", 6'2".
Corral's punt will bounce and go backwards. Gooman downs it in Ram territory. Not much you can do punting the football. You can't even drop it correctly on a day like this. And the Giants take over in good position.
Gramp, I'm here to help you install your garage door opener.
I did it myself, son. It's a Stanley.
Hey, Dad, thanks for the garage door opener.
I'll show you how to put it up.
Oh, we did it this morning.
It's a Stanley. Harry. Oh, happy birthday, dear.
You did it yourself.
It's a Stanley.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
This Christmas, open the door for someone you love. Give a Stanley garage door opener.
Okay, everybody, let's hear it for winter driving. Well, we didn't hear from you Jeep CJ owners. Off to the slopes, eh? Didn't hear from you Wagoneer families. Nice and secure. And you Jeep Cherokee owners don't seem to mind a little snow. Say, you Jeep truckers just keep on trucking, don't you? While you Jeep scramblers keep on scrambling. Get out of your rut this winter and get into Jeep. Now with ice-breaking rebates from $500 to $775.
Well, you talk about real fans. Now, those are real fans. Another sellout, of course, at Giant Stadium.
You have to love those Giants to do that, don't you? And those people have probably been doing it for 30 years because they're sitting in a good seat.
I imagine that's correct. That's Ernest Gray in motion. Here's Booner with a lot of time. He has Leon Bright knocked away at the last second. Good play by George Andrews. That had to be done by instinct.
I'll tell you, George Andrews had to do that because there was no one in front of Leon Bright. Had he caught that ball, watch it here. Now George Andrews he's behind about 2 or 3 steps. He looked up over his head and tapped that thing away with his left hand. That was a great play.
Andrews comes out. That's a tough assignment. To ask a linebacker who's got to be bigger and perhaps a little bit tougher. Well, not necessarily so, to cover a halfback coming out of the backfield like that. Second and 10 at the 47. Booner will take advantage of the wind again if he can. Goes outside again, intended for Bright. Ivory Sully was back there with him. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Look at that wind on Bruner's shoulders there.
Detroit 10, Green Bay 7, second quarter. And the Chicago Bears leading Minnesota 3-0. You notice the Giant players have the ear holes in their helmets taped. That's not because of the cold. That's because the wind is blowing so hard the noise distracts them. Next Sunday, the doubleheader. Packers, New Orleans, Giants, St. Louis. Perkins in motion. Bruner drops, throws. Intended for Mike Freedy. Rod Perry right there with him. Penalty markers down all over the place.
And those flags came late, Pat, and they both threw them. It looked like they had to take another thought on that one because they didn't throw them initially. That's what Rod Perry is saying there, because they didn't throw them, and now they do throw them, and it's going to be against the Rams.
Nolan Cromwell, number 21, really upset with this call. Fred Silva.
Defense, number 49. Pass interference. First down.
Rod Perry shaking his head. He said no, because he has position. Now watch him here. See, they hit there. That's okay. That's okay. You see the first 5 yards, he can do it. Don't hold him now, Rod. Let him go. Freedy's coming into him. Good position. I don't know. Did they call that interference?
Yes, they did.
No, they're wrong. If they could have called holding, a possibility, but that was not interference. Nope, sorry.
First and 10, Giants, the Ram 40. Here's Rob Carpenter. And he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he got a yard before Reggie Doss takes him down. Carpenter has had some problems with his hip. He was hurt in the Green Bay game, got a hip pointer, and has had to wear an extra pad almost ever since then. That's 5 weeks ago now.
Right, he took a shot from a linebacker, Rich Wingo, from the blind side. He didn't see him coming.
It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 39 for Scott Bruner and the Giants. Rob Carpenter, the lone runner. Rams leading 7-0. Bruner pulled out a little early, I think.
That's on Scott Bruner there. You know, sometimes those quarterbacks call the signal in the huddle, the snap count. You know, it's going to be on 1, on 2, or on 3, and they forget what they called in the huddle when they get up to the line of scrimmage. And I've seen that happen with the greatest. They'll call it on 2 and pull out on 1.
Offense. Ball start.
It's on Bruner. Usually when they do that, when they get up to the line of scrimmage, they'll ask one of the guards or the center, what's the snap count? What did I call?
They usually, and maybe, you know, Scott Bruner, starting for his first time, I mean, not his first game this year, but being a second-year quarterback, maybe doesn't want to ask one of the guys.
So it'll be 2nd and 14 back at the 44-yard line now. Bruner drops straight back. Chased and hit by Ivory Sully on a blitz. Still a Giants ball.
You know, that was the one situation that the Giants didn't want to get into today. Is this situation where they get 2nd and long and 3rd and long, because the Rams, you see the stunts, the linemen are crossing, they have 6 defensive backs in there, they're bringing safeties, and everyone, Gordon King was in good position to recover that fumble.
They did say that that was a fumble, and that his arm had not started forward when Sully hit him. And Gordon King was in the right place at the right time. So it'll be 3rd down, 19 back at the 49 for the Giants.
I used to always tell my offensive linemen, don't get in position to recover fumbles.
You don't want to be doing that all the time.
Block them.
7-0. The Rams over the Giants with 2 minutes left first half.
This is a barrio. It's not in some undeveloped country. It's right here in our country. And these kids aren't foreigners. They're Americans.
The future for them may not be as promising as for most Americans, even though their parents would want them to have a better chance. But any of these kids can make it, given the chance. They can become anything they want to be. Through education, they can have a better tomorrow.
I know, because I was one of these kids. I always knew I was proud to be an American, but I had to work extra hard for Americans to become proud of me.
Now kicking for the Los Angeles Rams, Frank Corral. The kick is up.
They will make their contribution just as I did.
It's good.
And sometimes that special contribution makes a difference.
The United Way helps all kinds of people to find their opportunities, to be part of a better tomorrow for all of us. United Way works here, and thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League. Thank you, Frank Corral. Like the wind is blowing hard enough to put the goalposts out of sync.
Crooked, yeah. The kicker, to get one through there, would have to bend his head sideways, to straighten those things out.
So it helps to be a soccer-style kicker.
Or a little tilt to one side.
3rd down, 19 from the 49. Bruner. Rams on a blitz again. But Bruner has some time for a while. Now he's taken down by Cody Jones.
That was one of those sacks that, again, will be because of the secondary coverage. The Rams are #1 in pass defense. They really do cover well. This time they pick up the blitz pretty good, as we see here. Bruner's looking downfield. There's no one open. He has to run with the ball. Cody Jones says, nope, you're not going there.
Dave Jennings back to kick. Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. Jennings hangs this one high. Irvin will just let it soar over his head. Jennings gets a good bounce, and so do the Giants. They'll down it at about the 4-yard line. You don't figure a ball to bounce like that with the wind at Jennings back like that. Flowers is down to down it.
That was a good job of coverage, because the first 2 guys, instead of staying in front of the ball, they encircle around behind so that the ball can't go into the end zone, and then they work back out.
Coming up at the half, a special feature on the owner of the Rams, Georgia Frontiere. And, of course, Brenton Herb will bring you scores and highlights from the other contests around the league.
Georgia's here today.
Yes. Along with another sellout crowd at Giant Stadium. A minute 16 to play in the first half. Rams leading 7-0. Tyler and Mike Booman operate out of the end zone. Here's Booman. Tackled at about the 1. Gary Jeter made the stop. Not only tackled him, he tore his shoe off. Timeout Giants.
Jeter got upfield that time. Now watch him here. You see, Taylor starts from the outside to force him out. Jeter is on a little stunt. He has the outside and the contain. He gets outside, up the field, and tackles Mike Gooman before he can get his shoulders turned. But I'll tell you who started that play right there, number 56, Lawrence Taylor. They ought to Beasley Reese shake his hand, too. Now the guy, okay, well, he didn't give him a handshake. He just gave him a little clap thing there. But he should have shook it, because he was a guy that penetrated, got in there, and made the ball jump outside.
Have you ever seen, in your years, a better rookie linebacker than Lawrence Taylor?
No, I never have. I think he's the best rookie linebacker that I've ever seen. We've played against a lot of them.
Next Sunday, the CBS doubleheader, the NFL Today, of course, begins it all. And then it'll be Green Bay at New Orleans and the Giants at St. Louis. And then the big one in Dallas, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Cowboys. That's the doubleheader game.
The Eagles are having their hands full with the Washington Redskins.
Last score we saw was 13-6 Philadelphia. Both teams have one timeout remaining. Excuse me, John.
I wonder if they missed a field goal. Missed an extra point or kicked 2 field goals. Because the Redskins had already missed 1 extra point. Oh, the extra point was blocked, so there's 2 missed extra points.
Billy Canfield has scored both touchdowns for the Eagles. They missed a second extra point. Yeah, for Tony Franklin. Out to the 4. Stopped by Gary Jeter. It is Mike Gooman again. Again, the Giants take a timeout, stop the clock with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half, and that's all they have. They want to make a punt against that wind. They might be able to do it. Next Saturday, a match of significance. Severe significance. The Minnesota Vikings against the Detroit Lions. Of course, assuming they both win today, the last time we looked, Detroit was and Minnesota wasn't. That could be of great bearing on who wins the NFC Central. And the NFL today, of course, will begin it all. That's next Saturday. And their feature will be a feature on the Lions' young quarterback, Eric Hipple. He's done some job. What an athlete he is, too.
He's been very impressive, and since he's been starting, the Lions have really turned things around. They haven't lost yet at home, and now they've started to win on the road, so that's a pretty good combination. If you never lose at home and you can win on the road, you don't lose many.
Unless you play in Milwaukee. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. Rams leading 7-0. Although, ironically, the Packers have a better record in Milwaukee when they play their games there than they do at home in Green Bay. 3rd and 10.
The Rams would like to get this ball out beyond the 5-yard line to have room for the punter.
Just about made it to the 5, where it'll be 4th down. And there's a lot of pressure in a situation like this on a lot of people. Not only Frank Corral, the punter, but also the center.
That's right. And see, usually the normal snap from the center to the punter is 15 yards. So the end zone, of course, is 10 yards. So you want to get it out beyond the 5 so that that center and kicker have the normal snapping distance that they're used to.
The center is Doug Smith, who has been playing an offensive tackle spot today, number 56. In order for Corral to handle it, him to get it back there, there's a lot of concentration involved.
And Corral's not lined up 15 yards deep.
Of course, if he steps on that end line, it's safety.
Of course, they're going to take the 5-yard penalty now. They run the clock down to 20 seconds.
Delay.
They've taken the penalty.
Number 3.
They call it against Frank Corral, but
the Giants should go for this one. Go for the block here. They're not used to snapping at this distance.
Leon Bright is standing on the Ram 30-yard line. Giants have 10 men up there. Indeed, they're doing just exactly what you said, John. They're going to go for it. Corral again lets the clock run down. Gets this one off. Not a bad kick. In fact, a superb kick. Leon Bright has it go over his head. He finally feels it in his own territory. Writes it on his feet. He's got some room. Leon Bright down to the Ram 30. Down to about the 25 before he's knocked down by the Rams. And speaking of being knocked down, one of the Rams is still down. I think it's Corral.
It looks like it is Frank Corral, but that was a great kick. Kicking into the wind, you want to keep it low. You want a line drive, and he got it over the return man's head. Looks like he got blocked there. You know, one time he was the only one out there. Let's watch it again. See, we'll see now. He's going to get up. He's going to get out here to the outside. Get up here. Now watch here. He picked up a couple blocks there. Right there. Right in front. Right there in front. It was hard to see. We saw Corral go down at one time.
Below the waist. First down.
Danny Pittman was the man who put the block on Corral. And again, he is still down. And don't forget that he does both the place kicking and the punting for the Rams. So that could be a very serious loss. think about what a good kick that was, John, this Corral. He was standing in his own end zone against a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and he kicked from his own end zone into Giant territory, all the way back to their 45.
And he did it with a line drive kick. You know, it wasn't one of those things that he got up. It just went, boom, just right over the line's head, and that was real power. That was a power kick.
A very tight spiral, and that's the only way it would have worked against that wind.
And it looks like he's hurting or holding his right shoulder. Well, the Rams do have a backup punter now. Dan Pastorini is their backup quarterback. Was a punter with the Houston Oilers. And the Giants are going to take one shot at it here.
From 60 yards out is Joe Danilo. They could get there. Just underneath. Almost made it. Joe Danilo from 60 away.
Now, he knew that he had that strong wind. We'll watch Joe Danilo and watch his reaction here. He gets it up. It takes a little while to get 60 yards, though.
I don't think we have to say it was no good. And the Rams still lead it 7-0.
Dear Atari Anonymous, my son Boris has a missile command problem.
My mission in life is to save all of mankind.
Lately, my daughter has developed a similar problem with Atari warlords. Now with video pinball, my husband is acting funny lately. With Atari games so ingenious, so involving, so intense, I ask you, Atari Anonymous, is this problem contagious?
Excuse me. I'm not the same crazy coach who used to storm around the sidelines yelling at the officials. I've learned to relax, and I drink light beer from Miller. Do you know that light's got a third less calories than a regular beer? And listen to this. Light doesn't fill me up. Besides that, light tastes fantastic. Oh, sure, there are a lot of other beers around, and you can drink any one you want. But let me tell you this.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
As I was saying, I don't care what anybody else...
Introducing the car Cadillac owners preferred overall to a Cadillac. Introducing the 1982 Lincoln Town Car. When Cadillac owners compared DeVille to the Lincoln Town Car based on comfort, roominess, luxury, and ride, 86 out of 100 preferred the Lincoln Town Car overall. Lincoln Town Car, the car Cadillac owners preferred.
Next weekend, don't miss a minute of the excitement here on CBS Sports. Saturday, a special NFL contest as the tough Minnesota Vikings meet the surprising Detroit Lions. Also on Saturday, get into the spirit with a regional edition of NCAA basketball, featuring Wake Forest at Marquette and USC at Long Beach State. Then on Sunday, it's a big day of NFL doubleheader action as the Philadelphia Eagles battle the Dallas Cowboys in a crucial NFC match. Explosive matchups, important outcomes, all next weekend on CBS Sports.
Welcome back to the News Desk in New York. I'm Brent Musburger along with Irv Cross. Over in New Jersey, many of you are watching the Rams beat the Giants. Winds gusting at 40 miles an hour. 7-0. Wendell Tyler, the only Ram touchdown from 2 yards out in that game. Green Bay has come back to go ahead of Detroit 14-10. And Irv, what a run here by Billy Sims.
Well, you really rise to your feet when Billy Sims touches the ball. Here he picks it up, skirts out to the outside on his left end, and rambles off field down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 9.
And that set it up for Vince Thompson. The Packers are saying, watch 20, watch 20. And so they give it off to 38, and Thompson's got the Lions ahead. They had a field goal, and then Dickey started to go to his tight ender.
I really like this guy. Paul Kaufman plays several positions in that Green Bay Packer offense. Here he picks up a key pass, 21-yard reception.
And it was Harlan Huckabee who got the Pack's first touchdown, and that man that Irv spoke about was not finished. Dickey pulling out 52 yards away from the end zone, lofts the bomb, and they've got Lofton down at the 5-yard line, and that was able to set it up for Kaufman, who off a play fake worked his way free in the middle of the end zone, and now it is 14-10, and the Packers, of course, were 4-1 in the month of November. Chicago and Minnesota, the Bears offense, pathetic. Twice they were down inside the 5-yard line, unable to do anything. Like, watch this sequence. sequence here. Tommy Kramer, who's had an off past 3 weeks, throws the interception to Henderson. A beautiful return here by Henderson. Gets down within striking range, and Irv, you would think that Bear attack now could move a yard here.
Well, they had 4 cracks in the 1 yard line. There's one, nothing. Second shot, nothing. Third shot, nothing. Well, maybe they'll get it this time.
Walter Payton, come on, Walter, and he is stuffed. They later came back down, got a field goal. They lead Minnesota right now 3-0. Miami has come back against New England. It is 14-7. The Patriots struck first in that game. St. Louis over New Orleans, and folks, we may have a new hero in St. Louis. His name, Neil Lomax. Besides having a strong arm, he's got nifty feet too. Here he is from 23 yards out, scrambling in for a touchdown, and oh, that makes him lethal on a play like this.
No doubt about it. You know, the defensive line gets a little nervous when you have a running quarterback. Here he scrambles, finds more time for himself, and hits Pat Tilley upfield.
And Wayne Morris from inside the 2 got the touchdown, and it is now 17-3 the Cardinals. Lomax is going for his 4th straight as the Cardinal starter in place of Jim Hart. Meanwhile, the Eagles lead the Redskins 13-6. In that game, both teams have missed extra points. Here's Joe Washington striking for the Skins from 6 yards out, and then Jaworski took command from the shotgun.
Had a pretty good first half. 10 for 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their touchdown pass went number 1 to Billy Campfield.
And it was Campfield again, Irv. They're a little lean in that backfield department. Billy has always had good hands. He works his way free, and so right now 13-6, and again, both teams have missed extra points in that game. Dallas took the opening kickoff, got a 2-yard run by Ron Springs for the touchdown, then a field goal in their second possession. Danny White is resting, doing the punting. Why not? They're using Glenn Corano. The Colts have absolutely quit on the season. The 49ers over the Bengals 14-3. A long way to go in that game, but I'll tell you, Bill Walsh's defense out there in the city by the bay has done the job here. They have set it up with a couple of interceptions, and who knows, maybe you're watching a possible preview of the Super Bowl from Pontiac, Michigan in January. The NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Tonight, Molotov. It's grand larceny at Archie Bunker's place when Stephanie's father gets caught stealing his daughter's money. And on One Day at a Time, can Barbara make dinner for her date? Hello. When she can't even handle breakfast? On Alice, Mel prepares his will.
You're a living legend, and now you'll be a dead one, too.
Then, I need your help on what to get Weezy for her birthday.
New husband.
On the Jeffersons. Then on Trapper John.
I found my mother, my real mother.
Can Gonzo and Trapper keep a reunion from turning to tragedy? Tonight.
This is CBS.
Last spring, more than 1,500 University of Southern California students voted Los Angeles Ram president Georgia Frontiere one of the 10 most influential women of the year, along with Nancy Reagan, Barbra Streisand, and Mother Teresa. Now, you may not agree with that assessment, but she certainly is one of the most influential women in professional sports. And Connie Chung of KNXT was given a rare opportunity for a visit with this woman whose interests reflect her early career as a singer and her pleasure in writing verse.
Gets some protection, and it's picked off by Jack Ham, and Ham
is to the 10. Did I hit the right note?
You did.
Georgia always wanted to be a star, but this season, her show has folded. She was born Georgia Irwin in St. Louis. Her early life as a singer took her from Las Vegas to New York, and also through 5 marriages. Carol Rosenblum was husband number 6, a multimillionaire who left her the Rams when he died 2.5 years ago. Carol was a tough act to follow, and critics quickly gave Georgia bad reviews. As she took us on a tour of Ram Park in Anaheim, it was clear she is an easy target.
What does that do to the legs?
Building right up through this quad right here. When you push off.
Inner thighs?
Yeah, explosion. Or explosion.
Explosion?
Yeah, coming off the line.
Does that, so they can...
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Also, the possessory interest tax came up today. And I think we'll probably be appealing that.
Is that all right to have on the television?
It was in the newspaper.
Oh, then that's all right.
Privately, some players admit it embarrasses them when she tries to be one of the guys. Others say she is the owner and she can do anything she wants. But the older players think Carol Rosenblum would have found a way to keep Vince Ferragamo and quietly pay off Fred Dreyer. That mismanagement botched those deals.
Essentially, she's in a man's world. I think she felt her way along the first year, and she ended up leading the team to the Super Bowl, and I think she's come a long way since then.
She takes a great deal of advice on running the team. Some of it comes from her seventh husband, Dominic Frontieri, a Hollywood composer.
Some have said that even you are running the team. Is it true?
No. No.
Anybody that knows me, I guess, knows that it's pretty hard to tell me what to do.
She does have the last word, but insiders say she is not decisive. She's elusive, difficult to reach on the phone, and perpetually late. She's running the team her way.
Running a business, I don't know that it has to be run by a macho.
Georgia does take an interest in the human side of this business, cares about the players, but her team is heading for its worst record in a decade. As an involved owner of the Los Angeles Rams, Georgia may be miscast.
Yes, woman is the weaker one. How else would all the work get done? And when we go to bed at night, who really starts and ends each fight?
Connie Chung for CBS Sports.
Irv, as a former player, would it be distractive to have a woman such as Georgia as the owner of your team?
I don't really think so, but I think too much has been said about the Rams front office operation. You remember a couple of years ago, they went to the Super Bowl. I think the players just sort of shake it off.
All right, the NFL Today continues on CBS.
Car's running great, honey.
Right.
Hey, the blimp's behind us.
Hey, good way to put it.
No, it's for real.
Well, it's real enough for me. I haven't had a lick of trouble since I got that tune-up at Goodyear. And you know, they've got over 1,300 service stores coast to coast. So you see, the blimp's behind us wherever we go. Hey, the blimp's behind us!
Good way to put it.
The kind of car care you've been looking for. One more reason Goodyear is out front, worldwide.
Recently, a few extraordinary wines were entered in a prestigious international competition. Wines made from costly varietal grapes, harvested in some of the world's finest growing regions. An oak-aged Chardonnay, a deep, full-flavored Burgundy, a light, dry Chenin Blanc, a varietal Rosé, a spicy Gewürztraminer. And each of these wines, all from a single winemaker, was judged to be among the best of the world. Silver medal, gold medal, silver, gold, gold medal. The wines, all from America, all from California, and all from the wine cellars of America's premier vintners, Ernest and Julio Gallo. The award-winning wines of Ernest and Julio Gallo.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the Tough Americans, American Motors, and its AMC Jeep and Renault dealers. Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation. And by STP, STP Gas Treatment, and STP Oil Treatment.
The score at the half, as both teams have returned to the playing field, is Los Angeles 7, Giants nothing. And, you look at the statistics, which we have in front of us about the first half, John Madden, but the real thing to talk about, I suppose, still has to be the effect of the wind.
And I think that's why the statistics are that way. There's only been 6 passes completed in the first half. The Giants only completed 2, and the Rams completed 4. And the teams kind of look flat, but I don't know how you could look anything else but flat.
I don't either. With a wind like this, in the event you might have joined us late, it's blowing at the rate of some 40 miles an hour. You can see up in top of the stadium what it's doing to the flags. You also see the score, and let's look at some of those first half statistics.
I think the big ones there are the yards passing. You look at the Rams in the first half only have 27 yards passing, and the Giants have 48 yards passing. And you know, if you can't pass in football, then you just get a run scrimmage, and that's about what we've seen.
John, when is the last time you can recall seeing a team win the toss, as the Rams did, and then kick off?
I don't know. Usually only in Chicago. You know, I've never seen it happen anyplace else, but that's something you do in Chicago. And it'll be interesting to see now the second half, the Giants have the choice. And it'll be interesting to see whether they kick off and take the win, or if they want the ball. Because one thing, you know, if you do kick off now, it's tough going in the third quarter, but then in the fourth quarter, then you get the ball. So it'll be an interesting thing. We see Pat Hayden warming up there, and Pat Hayden of the Rams looks like he expects to get the ball first. He looks like he's thinking that the Giants will probably kick off.
Now there you see the Giant huddle over in front of their bench. It's not only windy, as John and I were just talking about, it is very, very cold as well. CBS, Dan Lloyd. Number 1, Dan Lloyd is, of course, the former Giant linebacker who has been fighting a valiant battle against cancer. Has come back at one time. I think you'd have to say it was doubtful, but with the courage and dedication and really just all-out effort, I suppose you'd have to say Dan Lloyd is still with us. Drew Hill is number 87. Again, the Giants have Beasley Reese, this time holding for Joe Danillo's kickoff. I doubt very seriously he doesn't rock this one way out of the end zone. Hangs up there to Hill, and he starts from the one behind the wedge. Drew Hill to the outside, got some room. Beasley Reese chasing and hooks him out of bounds. That might have been called a penalty as well, that tackle by Reese.
That was awfully close to being a penalty. You know, that's one thing that they have such wind going here that it looked like maybe the kickoff coverage thought that there wouldn't be any return. Watch that wall for him, the wedge in the middle. He gets up, Hill gets up, bounces out to the outside, and now the only one that can make this tackle right here is Beasley Reese. Ooh, that is illegal. That's the second time we've seen that in this game, a slug to the head. You can't do that.
First down Rams against the wind at their own 41. Handoff is to Mike Gooman. Gooman cuts back to about the 45, hit by Lawrence Taylor first.
I think we do have to say that this really hasn't been a crisp game.
I think that's a fair statement. The weather is crisp, but the game itself hasn't been. Sometimes you get in a situation like this and you're more concerned about the elements than you are about playing.
I think that happens, and I think that happened on the kickoff with the Giants. I think they were thinking that the wind is with them. He'll kick the ball out of the stadium, and boom, here it comes back, and they're not ready to cover.
Giants trying to stay alive with their playoff hopes still in existence. Fumble. The Giants have it back. Haynes made the recovery. Gooman had the first down, lost the football, and the Giants take over with the wind at their back.
You know, one thing that happens, Pat, is when a football gets cold, the leather gets slippery. And you see, and the ball will be. Gooman had it against his left side. He got hit, and the ball just popped out right there to Mark Haynes. But that'll happen. When a ball gets cold, it gets slick.
Also very much like a golf ball, it gets harder.
Yeah.
And more difficult to hold because it's slick, as you pointed out. Here's Carpenter over the left side, got about 5. Cody Jones made the tackle. Now here's the situation, in quoting Ray Perkins from yesterday, where instead of throwing with, well, let's say Carpenter got 3 yards. They call it 2nd and 7. Instead of throwing now, he'll run the football.
Yeah, because he wants to stay out of that situation where the Rams bring in their 5 defensive linemen, 6 backs, and run all those blitzes and so on.
Brunner the quarterback, and indeed, Leon Bright does the carry. And he gets to where it'll be 3rd and 3 perhaps. George Andrews made the tackle. Now the pass. passing situation comes.
Of course, there's two things about that. One is we see the Rams are not substituting on defense. Now, that's one thing that Ray Perkins wants. The thing that's wrong with it, though, is you're giving up a chance to get a first down. You really give up second down, and you're putting it all on this down. And the Rams do substitute.
Now they come. Ivory Sully standing up on the right side. He's been blitzing a lot. And he backs up, and now he comes back into the line. He's number 37. Fakes a blitz. Now a man comes out of the backfield. He picks him up. A pass from Bruner intended for Johnny Perkins, incomplete. I don't know about that theory we were just talking about. Excuse me, John. If I had my druthers, I'd rather have 2nd and 1, wouldn't you?
Well, of course, if I had my druthers, I'd rather take 2 shots at it. I'd rather go on second down and try and get it, and if I don't, come back on third down, because that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
And as you pointed out, on that one down,
you have to do it that one time, or you have to punt.
And punt is what they're about to do. Jennings, Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. Taking his time, lines this one. That will go over the head, whirling it into the end zone. So the Rams will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20. We have 12 and a half minutes left to play in the third quarter at Giants Stadium, and the Rams, after a touchdown by Tyler, still lead 7-0.
You are about to leave the world of ordinary cars behind and make the Eagle switch. The revolutionary 2-wheel, 4-wheel drive American Eagle. The only automobile that lets you switch from 2-wheel drive to full-time 4-wheel drive. From high mileage on the road to high adventure off the road. 2-wheel drive luxury to 4-wheel drive security. American Eagle. Now up to $1,000 rebates on selected new Eagles direct from American Motors.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true.
This mini phone you gave me will sure be great for the den. Super small size, push-button dial with a memory button that automatically redials busy numbers.
An extra long 16-foot cord.
And it hangs up when you put it down on any flat surface.
Besides, we save even more when we own our own phone instead of renting it. And it's on sale for $39.88.
Honey, I should have gotten you one for the kitchen.
Well, you did.
Built and sold only by Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Thursday.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
It's a heartwarming Christmas visit to Scotland with the Carter family and special guest Andy Williams. Join Johnny Cash Thursday.
That's how hard the wind is blowing. A lot of people you can see from the empty seats behind the goalpost have departed already. Maybe they're still in the parking lot, but they're not in the stands. That's Wendell Tyler off to the right side.
And there's a late flag, Pat. It's probably a face mask, it looked like. Yep, it was. Did you ever kick at goalposts that were swaying?
I can't remember, John, that I did. Of course, the posts, when I was kicking, were on the goal line. That doesn't make any difference.
Defense.
That has nothing to do with the wind.
Number 55.
But they were shorter. The uprights were shorter.
Yeah.
And 1st and 10 at their own 28. Denard swings in motion to the left. Hayden gives to Wendell Tyler, and Tyler breaks into the secondary. Almost broke it. Beasley Reese made the tackle, about 9 for Wendell.
I'll tell you, and that's a big play for the Rams because they are getting out of this field position. And I think, again, once they're against the wind, you want to keep them backed up and keep them down there. Now, that was a great move by Tyler. Those are what we always called artificial turf moves, where you start in there and you make that quick bounce out to the outside. You were never able to do that on grass.
That is one of the things that's made Tyler so effective, and Henry Dorsett, I guess, is the real prime example of that. Here's Gooman. And Gooman slugs over the left side, outside the 40 for about 3. Harry Carson underneath the pile. Rams leading 7-0.
Probably the first one was O.J. Simpson that made those types of moves. You know, that big plant and then that big step to the outside. And as you say, now you see Tony Dorsett. Billy Sims is another one. You see Wendell Tyler all making those artificial turf moves.
You saw some of those made by Walter Payton on Thanksgiving Day.
Payton, there's another one.
Denard again in motion to the left. Back to Tyler again. Wendell outside the 45 to about the 46. Shy of a first first down by a couple.
Now the Giants, I think, on these running downs, in order to protect some field position, get the ball, because they decided that they want the wind in this third quarter by kicking off. They could have received. They decided to kick off. Now, doggone it, you have to get the ball back. You can't let the Rams control it.
It'll be 3rd and 2 at the 46. Swirling winds with a velocity of up to 40 miles an hour. 3rd down. Tyler. Foot or so short of a first down. The Rams, I suppose, will have to punt it. Mark Haynes made the tackle. They might choose to go for this one.
Today, in this weather, this is really a case for the dome stadiums, isn't it?
Oh. Wendell Tyler wants to go for it. They got to bring out the chains and see.
This is awfully dangerous going for it in this situation.
Again, the referee, Fred Silva, down holding the ball so that the wind doesn't affect the measurement. Hayden signaling over to the sideline. And they will punt it, it appears. See if Corral comes back out. Hayden does come out, indeed. Corral, the punter and place kicker for the Rams, was shaken up early. And there he comes.
He looks like he's holding his right arm awfully close. I bet he injured his right shoulder. See how he was holding that right arm? In fact, he's even counting with his left hand.
That might have its effect on how he's able to field the ball. Got it okay. Line driver. Leon Bright takes it. On the outside is Bright. And he is tackled by Mel Owens. And the Giants will take over at about their own 25-yard line with 9:55 left third quarter, and the Rams leading the Giants 7-0.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of...
All your lily pads. May all your pockets be full. Feliz Navidad. Peace.
We wish you everything you always wanted in a Christmas.
And more.
You know, I'm glad they asked me to do this commercial. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. There are ways to stay warm, I guess.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 26 for the Giants and Scott Brunner. They trail 7-0 to Los Angeles. Hand off Leon Bright. Leon struggles. Finally goes down in the grasp of Cody Jones.
I think somewhere here, the Giants are going to have to start throwing the ball. They have 9 minutes and 40 seconds of the win, because that last 15 minutes will be tough if they want to throw it. They have to do it now. They decided to receive. To kick. They decided to take the win. Now you have to do something with it, man.
They have Dave Young, two tight end alignment. Young on the left, Shirk on the right, and Brunner will throw. And does throw. Jerry Shirk, first down, Giants.
He's still crawling. Yep. I think that's what they have to do, and I think they have to start throwing some on first down now. We see it here. You see they're getting good pass protection inside. Brunner can step up. He can look. He can see. He finds Shirk in there in the middle, and it's enough for a first down. I think now with 8 minutes, 50 seconds left, that they ought to throw on first and second down also.
They have Leon Bright and Carpenter as runners. They have Perkins in motion. He fakes to Carpenter, and he will indeed throw on first down. He does. Intended for Perkins.
I'll tell you, he had Perkins wide open on that one in a crossing pattern. He just threw it a little long and a little wide. See, he starts with a play pass that holds the linebackers, which allows Perkins to come up the field and then get across in behind the linebackers. That wasn't Perkins. That was Young going deep, and he was the guy that cleaned it out so that Perkins could come underneath.
Gets it out to Bright. Bright looking for room, can't find much. Got about 5, perhaps. Johnny Johnson, the safety man, came up to make the tackle.
I think probably before they knew that they had this windy type day, that was a big part of their plan, is to have both those running backs block and then check through and find openings.
Injured Ram player. Let's see who it is. Jack Youngblood, Reggie Doss over taking a look. Cody Jones, I believe, is the Ram who's down. So we have 8 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in this contest in the third quarter. The Rams leading the Giants 7-0. Touchdown by Wendell Tyler has been it.
Presenting the new Toyota Supra and Dan Gurney. It takes the right stuff to make a great performance car. Come ride with Dan Gurney and see.
It's quick off the line. That's the twin-cam fuel-injected engine. Now let's see the independent four-wheel suspension in action. Handles well. Nice brakes.
The new Toyota Celica Supra.
That's the right stuff.
Supra.
At Denny's, we slice the tender tips from lean sirloin steak, braise them to seal in their hearty flavor, smother them in rich mushroom gravy, simmer them gently, ladle them over Durham flour egg noodles, and serve them with a roll and salad, all for the special price of only $2.99. Braised sirloin tips, only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
When a young computer thief is kidnapped by the bank he's stealing from, finding him becomes a personal vendetta for private investigators Simon and Simon. Tuesday.
Cody Jones over on the sideline. His place has been taken by Phil Murphy, and he's a load.
There's one. Phil Murphy's 6'5", and he weighs over 300 pounds. I don't know how much over,
but a lot. 3rd and 6 from the 46. Brunner straight back. Intended for Ernest Gray, almost picked off by Rod Perry. Right now, let's switch you back to Brent Musburger for an update around the NFL.
Pat, you and John want to speculate on this. Curtis Dickey here explodes for 67 yards for a touchdown for the Colts. The Cowboys are all over the Colts, but with that first pick coming their way in Baltimore, it seems unlikely now that they would draft Marcus Allen because of Curtis Dickey. Let's go back to Pat and John.
I think indeed it does sound unlikely, Brent. We're talking about trades all the way around this ballpark today. Jennings' punt will go out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Look at Jennings. He's still running. He started out and he ran back 30 yards as he was watching that ball go deep. He ran a lap around this stadium. Hey, that's good. We got some life in this game now. Let's go.
Prepare yourself for a little shock. This year, many traditional full-size cars are no longer full-size cars. This one is. Marquis from Lincoln Mercury. Marquis gives you all the comfort you need, plus the kind of smooth ride that makes driving a pleasure. Marquis from Lincoln Mercury. Can you see yourself riding in anything less?
Opening now at Sears, a Christmas of red ribbon value. Save $60 on this 19-inch color TV with touch and tune channel selection, 1-button color, and reliable electronic tuning, just $399.95. Save $60 on this AM/FM stereo. Plays cassette or 8-track and records on cassette. Now only $169.95. 2 super home entertainment values. To wrap up a beautiful Christmas, you can count on Sears.
Lawrence Taylor.
Have the football huddling in their own end zone right now. You look at Ray Perkins, the Giant head coach. Pat Summerall here with John Madden at Giant Stadium. The Rams got a touchdown the first time they had the ball, and that's been it. 7-0. Here's Wendell Tyler. Mike Gooman, I beg your pardon. Tyler the blocker. Gooman the carrier. Byron Hunt made the stop. Rams operating deep in their own territory with 7.5 minutes left to play third quarter.
I think what the Giants want to do here is really press the Ram run. By press, I mean get the linebackers up tight. Maybe bring the outside linebackers. Bring Lawrence Taylor on a blitz. Try and make something happen in the backfield.
Lewis Gilbert and Walt Arnold, both the Ram tight ends in the game. It's Tyler and Byron Hunt, Mark Haynes all over him.
They better watch out for that, though. They don't want a penalty here, and the Rams don't either. It's tough enough without getting a penalty in this situation. Doug Smith looked like he was getting a little excited.
That helmet doesn't look big enough.
It doesn't look like it fits him. It doesn't come down over the front. He may just have it cocked back up there while he stands in the huddle.
Just in case of a fight, maybe.
I tell you, he's a bull, though. Let's see if we can see him again. There's Lawrence Taylor coming in. See, the play's over. He's trying to get that pile to go back. Oh, the ball went down. And then someone saw him going.
There goes Taylor. And there's Doug Smith. But it all come to rest. Goonan goes straight ahead. He will not have the first down. Byron Hunt again led the defense.
Now Frank Corral has to get another one of those great line drive kicks into the wind if the Rams are going to keep this same position.
He pumped one of those against the wind, 61 yards in the first half.
That was a great kick.
In spite of that, his average, 32.2.
I don't think averages should count on a day like this either way.
You're right. Bad snap. Corral feels it on the hop. Another good kick by Frank Corral. That's going to be hard to handle. Leon Bright does, however, and Bright down the far sideline. Bright with some running room gets back to the 35-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds. Walt Arnold knocked him out of bounds, and this crowd, this very loyal, dedicated crowd comes to life. 7-0 still, Los Angeles.
It's going to be a little short, about 70 miles. This is Bob for Texaco Hope in the Gulf of Mexico. This water is 260 feet deep. It can cost up to 6 times more to drill for oil out here than on land. But we got to do this to help meet your energy needs in the years ahead. You can trust the Star at home and in your car.
Toyota asked to compare their new long-bed sport truck to our Jaguar XJ6. And we laughed.
Granted, the Toyota truck is well appointed. I say, 4-speed automatic overdrive. Handles most nimbly. Still, we laughed. Until Toyota told us we both had to carry a piano.
Oh, what a feeling. Feels like a car, works like a truck. Toyota.
Saturday, get into the spirit with NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. Wake Forest meets Marquette and USC takes on Long Beach State in regional action. Saturday on CBS Sports.
The Giants have the football. Ram territory, 1st and 10. The Ram 34. Bruner gives to Carpenter. He's knocked backwards, breaks one tackle, breaks another one. Still on his feet. Here's Rob Carpenter. And Carpenter, they say, was down, and they bring it back. He is upset.
They can say he was down, but he wasn't down. They may have decided that his momentum was stopped, and they blew a whistle. I'm sure they did, but the Rams have yet to get Rob Carpenter down. Let's watch it. He starts it in here to the left. Boom, there's nothing there. He takes it, he bounces out to the right. To the outside, they still don't have him. Johnny Johnson gets in position to tag him. They get him from the outside. They still don't have him. He's still going. A whistle must have blown there. No, Cromwell missed him right there. Cromwell was still playing.
They did blow the whistle, however. And they give Carpenter only 3 yards. Make it 2nd and 7. Outside Carpenter it is again. And Rob gets, this time, nestled into the arms of Andrews. And down he goes. Penalty marker goes down. Late flag. Discussion is with Fred Silva. Personal foul is called against the Los Angeles Rams. That was late.
Yeah, it was a late call. I don't know if they called that on the middle linebacker, Carl Eckern. He came in and finished off the tackle, but from here it didn't look like it was late.
Let's see who they call it.
Defense, personal foul, number 55, forearm to the face, first down.
It's called against Eckern.
Right, and it wasn't a late hit. It was hitting him in the head. Now, that's one thing. We've already seen it 3 times today, and that's one rule that I agree with. That you can tackle him, but you can't hit him in the head. Now, let's see. Now, here's Eckern right there. We saw the forearm, and that's what he called it for, the forearm to the head.
They move it all the way down to the 15. Brunner keeps the ball. Penalty marker goes down. It was first and 10 at the 15 when that began. Penalty marker down, however. Johnny Johnson made the stop on Brunner.
That's one thing that the Giants can't afford here, mistakes. Ray Perkins was telling us yesterday that the Giant offense self-destructed last week. Of course, that penalty is against the Rams, so maybe the Ram defense is self-destructing with 2 penalties in a row.
Giants have the football now, first and 5 at the 10-yard line.
Defense, 95, offside, first down.
Big Phil Murphy offside.
He's so big that there's a little of him left over there to line up offside.
It could be on both sides. Brunner to Bright. Bright bouncing to the outside, gets down to about the 7. Before once again Johnny Johnson comes up to make the tackle with help from Eckern.
Little things like that, like lining up offsides, are the real discipline things. They're the little things that win and lose games for you. Monday night, the Eagles lined up offsides on that 3rd down, boom, lose the game. Getting down here like this, lining up offsides, those little things are the things that you have to win.
Second and 3 at the 8. Just over 4 minutes left to play 3rd quarter with the Rams leading 7-0. Brunner gives to Carpenter. Carpenter, not quite. Mike Fanning tripped him up. He almost got in.
Are they going to mark that one? That's an interesting one. One thing that Rob Carpenter has, watch this, he has a great feeling. Look, he starts to the right, he feels a soft spot back in here. See, he just makes that little cut, shoulder square, great balance, and fights to get the ball up, and it should be about the 1-yard line.
They mark it about the 1-foot line.
It should be about the 1-foot line.
J.T. Turner has been helped to the sideline for the Giants. First down. Goal at the half-yard line. Carpenter, touchdown. And the struggle goes on. Jim Flack in the middle of it. Jim Youngblood in the middle of it.
I'll tell you, goal line offense and goal line defense is where you see all those types of things.
7-6 as Rob Carpenter gets the touchdown. Giants trail now by only 1.
Watch it. This is great. All those bodies down low. We can't see the line there driving. Both teams trying to stay low. Carpenter just takes in and boom, up over the top.
Brunner will hold for Danilo as the Giants try to even things at 7. Extra point very nearly was bobbled, but Danilo got it through. A sigh of relief makes it 7-7. Look at that touchdown again.
We'll see here again. Carpenter's going to go. He has to get to the line before he takes off. Not too soon, and then boom, up over. Somehow Gary Jeter ended up out there spiking the ball. Did you see that after that touchdown? I don't know if he was in on the short yardage offense or if he just came running on the field to get a little spiking practice.
Designated spiker.
Well, after Duriel Harris hurt his knee last week with Miami, maybe these teams are having a lineman run on the field and spike it instead of the wide receivers and running backs.
There's the scoring drive. 5 plays, 34 yards, 2 key penalties. Carpenter scored the touchdown on a 1-yard run. Danilo tied it at 7. The Rams will have the win, don't forget, however, in the fourth quarter. And it's substantial. The Giants trying to stay in that playoff picture. The Rams not really mathematically out of it completely, but chances almost gone for playoffs. This time they haven't been in that postseason activity in a long, long time.
You know, it was interesting. The last time that the Giants had a winning season was the last time that the Rams weren't in the playoffs.
1972. Romero laces this one deep and out of the end zone. Right now for an update, let's swing you back to Brent Musburger in our studio in New York.
Pat, who would have imagined that a Green Bay New Orleans game would be big this late in the year? But that is next Sunday. Dickey has put the Packers ahead with that 15-yard pass to James Lofton. Suddenly they are dominating the Lions. Let's go back to Pat and John.
And Brent, that victory, there's a guy who's been out in the weather for a while. Victory by Green Bay, if indeed it lasts, would even their record at 7. Drop Detroit down to 7. Here's the pass outside intended for Tyler, incomplete. Mark Haynes, the defender. Next Sunday, the NFL has a doubleheader. We do on CBS. Green Bay at New Orleans. And as Brent just said a minute ago, that'll be very important. The Giants at St. Louis. And then, of course, after that, the doubleheader game, the Eagles will be at Dallas. So
excuse me, that's always a big one.
There's a handoff to Tyler, and Haynes is right out there in good shape. Makes a good play.
I tell you, the Giant defense is fired up now. They were on that last drive because they knew they had to keep the Rams down there. Now they got their touchdown. They know they have to do it again. Well, the fans, yeah. Okay, now here's what you cheer for. Look, fans, you want to do it again, and then if they get the ball with the win, they have another shot at it. See? Hey!
You sound like a fan.
Well, you got to talk to them. You got to tell them what they're cheering for.
It'll be 3rd and 8. It's 22. Hayden, the quarterback, has been all day. Drops to throw. Martin, the rush. Pass incomplete, intended for Billy Waddy. Nothing doing against that wind, and Corral again will have to punt. Bill Courier, Mark Haynes back on defense for the Giants. Speaking of being fired up, these people who have endured these weather conditions today are fired up, or would like to be.
They have endured.
Leon Bright, who's almost broken a couple of kicks. Punt return so far. Giants again do not try to rush. Corral again against the wind. All things considered, a very good kick. Bright. Leon Bright still on his feet. And still. Bright down the sideline. Bright might take it. Inside the 10, down to the 7. Ivory Sully finally made the stop.
Still alive here, and what a great punt return with 2 minutes left. They knew that they needed another shot, that they wanted to make something happen before they lose this win. Now, Corral makes a good kick here. He kicks it with power. He kicks it long. He gets right back now. Now he takes up. Now Leon Bright really picks up some blocks here. He gets one from his left side right there, another one to the outside, and then he's running straight up the field, and he gets it into the 7-yard line. What a run. What a return.
And it gets him in business again, and here's Carpenter. Batted down at about the 6. It was 1st and goal. Johnny Johnson made the tackle. Leon Bright, by the way, has broken the record for punt returns in a year without a fair catch. A record that was set way back in 1953 by Emlyn Tunnell.
One thing, that sure gives them a lot of confidence, I think, when they think that they're going to get that short type of kick. Everyone's set. You know, as we watch it again, they know that they're going to get a return. And we really get some good blocks here. Watch some of these blocks as these Rams will pick up. Of course, a few missed tackles.
Corral was hurt again. Win by Bright. Here's Carpenter it down inside the 5 to the 3. Carl Eckern made the tackle. It'll be third down at the 3.
Now 3rd and 3 at a goal line is really a long yardage situation. And it's really a passing situation. I would think that the Giants here would probably go with some type of play pass.
Scott Brunner, the quarterback. Mulledy, tight end, is number 81 on the left side. 3rd and goal. It'll be Carpenter again. Carpenter will not get in. Now, do you field goal or go for it? I think you have to field goal.
They have to field goal with a score of 7-7. They've already had 3 shots. They haven't done anything with it. They elected not to pass, so I'm sure that they were being satisfied with a field goal. And here comes Joe Danello.
Clock is still running. They'd like to get this one off before they have to fight that wind, I'm sure. Danello is out. Although from this close, it shouldn't be that much of a factor, but still, you'd like all the advantages you can have.
You want all your fair advantages.
They may not get it off if they don't hurry.
They didn't get it off.
Clock has run out, and that's right. They didn't get it off. Now, if that turns out to be something that gets involved, they could have gotten that kick off easily.
And Joe Danello was upset. He was saying something there to Scott Brunner. We had to get it off.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Giants 7, the Rams 7. We'll be back with the start of the 4th quarter after this word from your local station.
Monday, the pampered Private Benjamin tries to trap the camp loan shark. Then Nan hires Brentwood as a tutor, but will Gabby pass the test? The 2 of us in Private Benjamin Monday.
This is CBS. Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, who invite you to review the 1982 Toyota Starlet at your local Toyota dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by the Twin Action Norelco Rotatrack Razor.
Nothing like kicking at a moving target. The score is tied at 7-all. As Joe Danello now will have to kick against the wind from 20 yards out. Scott Brunner will hold just inside the 10-yard line. This is like an extra point from the left hash mark. See the wind moving those uprights around. And Danello gets it up and through, and the Giants take the lead 10-7. Now he'll have to kick off against the wind. The Rams will have it at their back in the 4th quarter at Giants Stadium. Giants up by 3.
You're cutting a ship out of a mountain of steel, and you don't stop until you hear that sound.
It's Miller time. Let's go.
Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear.
Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. If you've got the time, Miller's got the beer.
At the Meadowlands Giants Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Giants leading the Rams 10-7. Danello will have to kick off now against the wind.
That was one of the things that really hurt when they didn't get that field goal off in the 3rd quarter, because they also have to kick off against the wind now.
He lines it, fumble it, can't find the handle. Finally, they do fall on it. Packers now 21-7 10-17 over Detroit. That's in the fourth quarter. Bob Avellini is now the quarterback for the Bears, and they lead Minnesota 10-7. 72-yard pass completion from Avellini to Brian Baschnagel. Puts the Bears back on top. First and 10 from the 26 here. Pat Hayden calls the signals, and Preston Denard comes in motion. This is Wendell Tyler spinning and twirling out to about the 30. Terry Jackson tripped him up.
Now the Rams know that, again, that they have the wind, and they're going to have it for 14 more minutes. So I'm sure they want to work the ball out and get some good field position before they really go for some things up the field.
Philadelphia now 13-9 over Washington in the fourth. The Eagles, as we figured, having trouble with the Redskins. Gurman comes left in motion. Hayden drops. Pass is incomplete. Haynes, the defender, intended for Billy Waddy. Pass was high.
You know, I bet you sometimes they'll come back with that player sometime, because Gouman came out in motion here and no one came out and covered him. See, Waddy's running a hook out here. He starts up the field. He really didn't drive the defender deep. You see, and he let him get up and react to it.
So it'll be third down as Drew Hill comes wide to the left. Rams operate with three wide receivers. Bernard and Waddy on the right-hand side. Giants with a blitz. Pass is complete. That'll be enough for a first down to Preston Denard. Terry Jackson made the stop. Excuse me, John.
The Rams did a good job of picking up this blitz. They brought the two outside linebackers inside. We see the guard Bill Bain comes off. There was a stunt there, real solid in the front, and that gave Hayden enough time to find Preston Denard in the middle.
Wendell Tyler will clutch and key block on Lawrence Taylor. Good job of picking up by the remaining backs. First down, Hayden will throw. Has it complete again, Preston Denard. About 8. Terry Jackson again, the defender.
I think that was what the Rams wanted to do, is they wanted to get out from the 25-yard line, get out here towards midfield, and now this is the time that they can use their entire offense.
Hayden 6 out of 13 for only 45 yards, but on a day like this, with the wind like it's been, that's not a bad effort. Second and 2 at the 47. Hayden to Gouman. He'll have the first. Still on his feet is Mike Gouman all the way down to the Giant 41. Terry Jackson finally got him down.
Well, the Giant defense, you know, they were really fired up there in that third quarter when they had the Rams backed up, and they look like they've lost it a little now. See, Carson misses a tackle there. There's a miss there, and then they finally get Gouman down. But they really aren't playing that same way they were about 5 minutes ago.
Gouman 17 carries, 69 yards. Tyler has 70. It's Gouman again. Inside the 40 to about the 38 before Byron Hunt and Bill Neal tripped him up. Miami springing back against New England, 24-14 fourth quarter. And now Washington 15, Philadelphia 13.
You know, and those missed extra points are still looming there for both those teams, aren't they?
52-yard return of a pass interception by Washington linebacker Monty Coleman has put them ahead of the Eagles. Here's Tyler blocking in front. Tyler still on his feet. Tyler swings down the far sideline to about the 26-yard line before Beasley Reese takes him out of bounds.
I tell you, the Rams are doing it now. They're really starting to fire off on the line of scrimmage on that right side. They got some movement over there. We see Gouman leading right there on Kelly. He gets a pretty good block, and that allows Tyler to sneak through into the outside.
First down, Rams at the Giant 26. Giants leading 10-7. Another good day for him. He scored the only Ram touchdown on a 2-yard run early. Waddy was in motion. Gouman nothing doing this time as Gary Jeter and Bill Neal both converge. He does doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
I think that's the thing that the Giants have to start doing, as we said earlier, start pressing the run. By that, get those outside linebackers up on the line of scrimmage and bring them from the outside.
Second 11 from the 27. Bernard split wide to the left. Out of your picture at the moment. Arnold swings in motion to the right. Giants on a blitz. Look out, Lawrence Taylor. From behind, Hayden never saw him.
I mean, look out, Pat Hayden. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor, the time before, was blocked by Wendell Tyler. On this run, he runs right over Wendell Tyler. Now watch him here, 56, Lawrence Taylor, from the outside. See, now Tyler has to block him. He sets up here like this. Lawrence Taylor said, I'm too strong for you. I'm going to go right through you. And Hayden, you don't see me. Boom, I'm going to grab you with my left hand. Tyler's still trying to block him.
In recent years, the Giants have often been criticized for their drafting. But that was no mistake. Not that fellow. That's Tyler, and he's down at about the 31. Lawrence Taylor again on the tackle.
You know, and Lawrence Taylor started that way from game one. I know after the first game they opened against the Philadelphia Eagles, and someone wrote the next day it's the first time in years that the Giants, after their first game, didn't have to apologize for their #1 draft choice.
Frank Corral will have a try from about 49 yards out. Nolan Cromwell is the holder. Corral trying to tie it at 10. He's got the range, certainly. That one won't get there. No good. He just didn't quite catch it. And the Giants hang on to that 3-point lead with 9:46 left to play in the final quarter. 10-7, Giants.
There's a new Starlet here on Broadway. Introducing the 1982 Toyota Starlet. A Toyota born small to kick the gasoline habit. To kick the gasoline habit with more miles per gallon. More miles per gallon of gasoline than any other Toyota. The 1982 Toyota Starlet. Its mileage will light up your life. Starlet.
If your morning shave has turned into a nightmare, gotcha. Wake up to the exclusive twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor. Inside 3 floating heads. Twin-action grips and raises hair up, then razors hair off, closer than ever. For twin blade closeness without a nick or cut, the twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor, cord or rechargeable. Because for close shaves,
there's no action like twin action.
Start your football day with a complete look at all the sports news, college and pro highlights. It's America's most watched pregame show. Sundays, it's the NFL Today.
The Giants have the football, leading the Rams 10-7. 9:46 left to play. Leon Bright, Rob Carpenter, the runners. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. Off to Carpenter, doesn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage before he's hit in the back by Reggie Doss.
What the Rams are doing now is they know that on first down anyway, the Giants aren't going to pass, so they're really ganging up on the run. On that one, they had 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and there's no way that you're going to run against that defense.
They'll probably do that same gang plan again right here.
I would think so. Probably do it again on second down and then loosen up or come in with their substitution defense on third down.
Carpenter lost a yard, make it 2nd and 11 from the 30. Opens in motion. And he will throw. In the direction of Johnny Perkins. Rod Perry, the defender out there with Perkins. Very difficult to throw against this wind.
It is a tough thing. You know, if you run, you're not going to gain any yardage, and if you pass and it's incomplete, you stop the clock. So it's a real tough thing here, and especially this third down is a tough situation because the Rams are always tough on this. You don't want to make a mistake in this situation.
They have their extra defensive backs in the game now. This time, Ivor Sully, Leroy Irvin Bothing. Johnson backing out and Brunner backing out. And Brunner throwing down the middle. All of them is picked off by Leroy Irvin.
Leroy Irvin knew it because he had great position on that thing. And he was looking at those hands, those gloves he had on, because he really had a shot at this. Butchus, it's good coverage by Irvin. They have good pass protection. Brunner sees, he steps up there. It was just a bad throw because Dave Young had a step or two and he threw it behind him right to Leroy Irvin.
And now Dave Jennings comes in and Leroy Irvin will go back to handle the punt. Jennings against the wind now. Over in, hard to handle. Doesn't handle. Irvin now does. Leroy Irvin sideways to about the 43-yard line, where the Rams will take over 1st and 10. 8:45 left to play. The Giants leading the Rams by 3 points, 10-7.
Before I swing for the bleacher seaties, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
Before I slam my gorilla donkeys, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
The Edie's for Wheaties, that undeniable, irresistible urge for the crispy, crunchy, whole wheat taste of the breakfast of champions.
Before I put on my little cleaties, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
Part of your good breakfast.
Good service isn't giving people what they expect. No, it's giving them more than they expect. Avis knows that. So when you make a reservation, Avis makes a commitment, and they honor it.
Morgan?
Even if you're 6 hours late. Now, you might be willing to pay a little more for this service, but at Avis, you don't have to. Trying harder is still the best way to do business.
8:45 left to play. Pat Summerall with John Madden, Giants Stadium. Rams down by 3, have the football at their own 43, 1st and 10. Hayden will throw it quickly. And does. Pass is picked off by Lawrence Taylor. Interception by Taylor. He fumbles. The Giants, Beasley Reese picks it up, and he still got it. And Beasley goes out of bounds on the far side of the field. The Giants will have it close to midfield.
That was one thing that the Rams didn't want to do there, of course, is they knew that, that now's the time to move it. But, of course, that's the last thing they want. But you talk about a guy who's all over the field, that Lawrence Taylor. We watched him, we saw in the last play, that he made that blitz and made that great play. Now he shows how he does it in coverage. He's back in his zone, makes a fine reaction and a great catch. Look, he puts the ball out there. Then he's going to fumble it there, right back to Beasley Reese.
Beasley just goes out of bounds in front of the Giant bench, and the Giants take over at their own 48, 1st and 10. Wright is still the running back with Carpenter. Brunner on 1st down. Fakes, pumps, throws, and incomplete. Intended for Johnny Perkins, Nolan Cromwell, and Ivory, and Leroy Irvin. Back there quickly in good shape.
That's one of the guys that you don't fool in this league. It was supposed to be a sprint and an out and up by Perkins, and it didn't fool Nolan Cromwell at all. He's one of the great players in this league. Nolan Cromwell, he was right there. He just saw the whole thing, waited back there, and really, Scott Brunner just had to throw that one away.
So it'll be 2nd and long at the 48, 2nd and 10. Perkins wide right, Freedy wide left.
I wouldn't think so.
It's to Carpenter. Carpenter breaking a couple of tackles, and Carpenter struggles for about 7 yards before Irvin gets him down. Carpenter almost broke away from everybody.
I think the two things that the Giants want to think of right now is, one, is keeping the ball, keeping control with 8 minutes left, keeping the ball away from the Rams, and then 2, of course, is get another score.
Leon Perry comes in. He and Carpenter will be the runners now. It'll be 3rd, about 1, a long one it is. 43-yard line of the Rams, the line of scrimmage.
The Giants are having trouble. They only had 10 men in the huddle, and Tom Mulledy just came in.
Gotta hurry.
They do have to hurry.
And the 5 seconds on the 30-second clock, they got it off. Leon Perry came very close to that 1st down marker, but it is going to be close indeed.
surprised that Rob Carpenter didn't run on that short yardage thing, because he has a great feel for that, to find any little soft spot around there and get it in there, because the Giants didn't pick up that third down play. I think if it's fourth down, I think they have to punt here.
Again, the officials have to hold the ball so that it won't blow away and mess up the measurement. That's a right-hander instead of a right-footer.
Right hand, left hand to get those spots. The Giants are going to go for it. This is a big play. It's a big play for the Ram defense. If they stop them, of course, they have good field position. If they don't, then the Giants get to keep the ball and play with it for a little while.
Fourth, about a foot. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. And he has Carpenter and Perry. Bruner gets to Perry. And Leon Perry should have it. Over the left side. Big Young signaling, yes. Move him.
Look at that Phil Murphy there, that 95. He kind of takes up about half the screen in there, doesn't he? I saw him in preseason. He wasn't quite that big. I think he's gained a little during the season.
There's Ray Perkins standing over next to that marker, looking not too warm. And again, they have to hold the NFL football, and they'll come out and measure.
I think they got it.
Ed Silva gives you the official indication that they did.
I'll tell you, let's watch that. We'll see Rob Carpenter as the lead blocker here, and maybe Perry just got it with that one little turn at the end.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the Ram 42. Giants 9 first downs all day. The Rams 14. They hustle up quickly to the line of scrimmage. And again, that 30-second clock goes down to 4. Here's Carpenter. Robbed for about 8 or 9. Mike Fanning tripped him up.
That's not a bad thing that they have going there. In fact, with the 6 minutes left, they could probably just keep doing this. Now watch, Carpenter's in the fullback position. But watch the one thing that he has. He gets those shoulders square, and he can see and make those cuts and feel for those little openings in there.
Carpenter, 18 carries, 55 yards. He'll get some more business before the day's over.
Just give it to him every play.
I think I would too. Leon Bright went in motion. I don't think he was supposed to go in motion. I think once he started, he made the wise choice and kept going.
If he did, that was a wise choice, because if the back goes forward before the ball snapped, it's a legal motion. But if he goes forward and then goes out in motion, then it's okay.
It is now Green Bay 28, Detroit 17. Harlan Huckleby has scored for the Packers on a 1-yard run. The Cardinals aren't out of it either. 30-3 over New Orleans, they are.
It's a great name, Harlan Huckleby.
Sounds like a football name, doesn't it?
You ought to bet a nose tackle up.
5:20 left to play. Here's Leon Bright over the middle. Very near another Giant first down.
This really has been a game of spots today. It seems like we've had more of these situations, for the first down and the spot and the measurement than any game I can remember in a long time.
When it's a very difficult day to mark it and measure it, because the ball blows away.
They said that wasn't one.
Not a very popular decision to Ray Perkins. Bruner brings him out quickly this time.
Could probably just quarterback sneak and fall down for a first down here. This is just a couple inches.
He's 6'5", so certainly he could. He gives to Carpenter. Carpenter has the first down, backwards down inside the 30. In the arms of Jim Youngblood, but it'll be another Giant first down.
I'll tell you, we watch it from here. We'll see this again. Now watch his short yardage. Everyone wants to get low. It looked like the Giants won the battle there with J.T. Turner, Gordon King on the line of scrimmage, because Carpenter is able to get the ball and have some push going backward.
And that backward push is what got the first at the 30. Again, the ball is blowing around. The official has to stay there and hold it until Jim Clack gets there.
See that? There were helmets and feet and legs and arms, everything flying in. That's good stuff.
Here's Carpenter. Stumbles, and nothing doing this time. Couldn't quite get underway. Nolan Cromwell came up first to hit him.
You know what they're doing now, what they're trying to do is just keep the ball on the ground, take the full 30 seconds, and not let him get the ball. Not let him get the ball back again. You see on that play what happened is as he started to break to the left, he tripped over his own guy, his left tackle, Jeff Weston.
It'll be 2nd and 11 at the 31 for the Giants. They lead 10-7. Trying to stay alive in the playoff picture. Ike Forte in the backfield now with Carpenter. But it's Carpenter again. Looking for some room. Can't find it. Gets away from one Ram. Trying to get loose from another Ram. Carl Eckern, number 55.
Looked like Carpenter hurt his left arm when he pulled away there from Eckern. In fact, he did. He's going out. Looked like he jerked his arm away from him and maybe hurt his arm or shoulder in doing that.
He's in pain.
Yeah. But that was after the play as he was trying to pull away from Eckern.
Place being taken by Perry. Clock running now less than 3 minutes. 2:50 left to play. As Carpenter goes to the sideline. Perry and Forte, the two Giant backs at the moment. Perry. What's there? It'll be 4th down Giants. Scott Brunner looks over to the sideline as Ivory Sully made the stop, number 37. Do we try with Danilo, or what do we do?
Doesn't look like they're going to. It looks like they're going to go with it. Go on 4th down and go for the 1st down.
They've called a timeout. The Rams have, and Brunner goes to talk it over with Ray Perkins.
He was as practical as any of us, but he hid it well. Behind a certain flair and style of living. Even the car he drove, a 1982 Cutlass Supreme. An Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. To the casual observer, it was the epitome of style, offering no visible clue as to how practical the man who owned it really was. You see, he knew. Even today, there's still room to do it with style.
Looks like this big old hole in the ground is going to be safe for the night. Over.
Then come on, old Pete. It's Miller time. Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer
when it's time to relax
and a great beer.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
You got the time. We got the beer. Come Miller time. We got the beer.
They upset the Cowboys, made turkey of the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Saturday, the Detroit Lions face the Minnesota Vikings in a fight for the playoffs starting at 3:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, Saturday on CBS.
Now the Giants, after a meeting on the sideline, have decided to put Dave Jennings in the game, and they will punt. After he gets through with his conversation with Brian Kelly.
But that's the first time you've ever seen a punt from the 29-yard line.
Jennings aiming for the left sideline, has the wind take it and blow it almost backwards.
See where that official stops. Right there at the 16.
So Jennings strolls to the sideline, and the Rams will take over at their own 16-yard line. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, of course. Archie Bunker's Place follows, one day at a time. Alice, the Jeffersons, and Trapper John M.D. First down, 10 for the Rams at their own 16. Giants leading by 3 points. Hayden standing in the pocket. Preston Denard has the pass reception and near a Ram first down. At about the 26. Hayden, a lot of protection that time.
He did, and as we watch it again, they're bringing Lawrence Taylor. Now this time, Kent Hill, the left guard, comes out to block Taylor. See, they tried earlier to get the back on him, and now they're bringing the guard out, and it was very close. He still got there.
And we're down to 2 minutes left in this contest, with the Giants leading the Los Angeles Rams by the score of 10-7.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1978, John Madden's Raiders trail the Chargers by 6 with time for only one more play. Ken Stabler drops back. He's blitzed from the right. In what has become known as the Holy Roller, he fumbles the ball forward. It is miraculously bobbled and bounced into the end zone, where Dave Casper falls on it for a touchdown. The Raiders win 21-20 on the game's final play.
Alcoa can't wait.
Since time began, nature has demonstrated the wisdom of recycling. In rain that falls to the earth, travels to the sea, and rises to the clouds again. Now, man must learn to recycle too. At Alcoa, we've already started by initiating programs that are saving billions of aluminum cans every year. Raw materials and energy too. Recycling. We're simply doing what nature has always done.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
2 minutes left at Giants Stadium, with the Giants leading the Rams 10-7. Giants watching the scoreboard, of course. Still alive in that playoff situation. Watching what's happening to the other teams that were in that picture. Denard has it. Denard down the sideline in Giant territory. Beasley Reese pushed him out of bounds at the 48. A juggling catch by Preston Denard.
You know, Terry Jackson had the coverage there. He was right on him, and we'll watch it again. He goes for the ball, and Denard, he misjudged it. Now watch right here at the end. You see Jackson, he's there. He goes in front, and Denard juggles the ball, gets in behind him.
And Beasley Reese knocked him out of bounds. Here it is.
And you see Jackson went in front, and he really didn't get to Denard.
Here's Hayden being rushed again by Taylor. Throwing for Billy Waddy, Mark Haynes on the defense. Stops the clock with 1:47 left to play. The Rams have 2 timeouts remaining. The Giants have 3.
With the score 10-7, the Rams have 2 objectives. Now, one, get to field goal range first. That gives us a possible tie. Then when we get to field goal range, then go for the 7 that would give you the possible win.
Right now, they're not in range yet. Taylor again on a blitz. Hayden throws complete. Billy Waddy makes the reception. And now they say incomplete. He didn't hang on. Mark Haynes again, the defender.
That is an interesting one, because that would have put him up a little closer. Now watch the ball. Right there, you see it did go in, and then it bounced out and hit the ground. That was a good call by the official. He had a good angle on that one.
Very good.
Billy Waddy just dropped that.
Now it'll be 3rd down. Waddy back in the huddle. Hayden calling. 1:39 clock stop. Rams 2 timeouts. Giants 3. Denard comes wide left. Waddy to the right. Lawrence Taylor comes again. And all over Hayden. He misses. Hayden gets loose. Hayden chased by Jeter. And Hayden goes out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 10. That Hayden had no place to go.
I'll tell you, this Lawrence Taylor can make more things happen. He doesn't make this tackle, but he comes from right here, the left-hand side of the screen. See, Tyler tries to block him. He jumps right over Wendell Tyler, goes right to Hayden. Now he makes Hayden scramble. See, he flushes him out of the pocket, and there's no one open, and boom, they get Hayden for a loss and bring up a 4th down. Gary Jeter who drove him out of bounds.
So it'll be 4th down, 11. Ball at the 49-yard line. This could be it for the Rams.
They play for 59 minutes, and it all boils down to one play.
See if Taylor comes again. They fake a blitz, and he doesn't. But Martin's coming. Pass is knocked down by Jackson, intended for Drew Hill. Harry Jackson batted it away. And it looks like playoff hopes will stay alive one more week at least at Giant Stadium.
Or at least a real good shot for a 500 season, which we said earlier is a big thing for the New York Giant team. Terry Jackson, he misjudged that one early. earlier, but he didn't misjudge this one. He has pretty good protection. So he sees the ball here. Now watch Jackson come in underneath again. It's the one, the last time he misjudged it. This time he got his left hand on it and knocked it down.
A minute 26 left on the clock. A field goal of 20 yards by Danilo is the margin right now. Touchdown by Carpenter for the Giants. Touchdown by Tyler. For the Rams, the first possession. First time they had the football. Bruner. Carpenter. And Rob gets a yard out to midfield.
You know, this is a tough thing here. One thing, you don't want the backs to fight for yardage now because you don't want to fumble.
Timeout Rams as Bruner goes over to the sideline. Let's check and see what's happening scoreboard-wise. San Francisco, having already clinched the NFC Western title, still playing with great intensity as Bill Walsh goes back to Cincinnati. They lead 21-3. Green Bay 31-17 now over Detroit. And Chicago 10-7 over Minnesota in the fourth quarter. Next Sunday, don't forget, Green Bay will be at New Orleans, the Giants at St. Louis. And the big doubleheader game after that will be the Philadelphia Eagles at Texas Stadium, playing against the Cowboys. It all begins with the NFL today. Rob Carpenter hurt again over on the sideline.
You know, that's something that Detroit and Minnesota and Tampa Bay were all tied in that Central Division starting today. Now both Detroit and Minnesota are losing.
And Tampa Bay plays the other 7-6 team later on this afternoon.
And how about this score here? The Washington Redskins in a final beat the Philadelphia Eagles 15-13. That's the third game in a row that the Eagles have lost.
And they go to Dallas next week. Some of those fans are still loyal and dressed for it.
There's some that aren't dressed for it. There's one guy down here with his shirt off.
He must be dressed inside out. Second down and 9 at the 50. Rams have one more timeout remaining. Brenner will just kneel. And the Rams again call a timeout. That's their last one. So perhaps they will indeed get the ball back at least one more time. Play football, a difficult day for all the members of our crew to work in this windy, blustery day in New Jersey.
But the real heroes here still have to be these fans.
Isn't that the truth?
They come out here and they can't even move around. They just have to kind of sit here and take it all day. And these that are still here, they have to be some of the toughest people in the world. They're amazing.
25 years ago, the Giants last won a championship. They beat the Bears, 1956.
And these people still fill the stadium, don't they? Every week.
And again, Bruner will just protect the football. The Rams have no timeouts remaining. The Giants have 3.
And the Rams aren't going to have a winning season this year. That's been established here today. And it'll be interesting to see what they do next year if they have, you know, a lot of trades and so on. There's talk that Vince Ferragamo may come back. And, of course, maybe that's something that would be a big lift for them. Because, you know, they lost a lot of players and really didn't replace them this year.
A lot of changes in that defense from a couple of years ago.
That's right. One of them's playing for those amazing San Francisco 49ers.
Zach Reynolds. I'm not sure why the clock has stopped and what's going on. There's a lot of talking, but there's still 56 seconds remaining on that scoreboard clock.
The Rams must have used their last time out, and the Giants are going to punt.
Second clock. 10. 30-second clock. 15 seconds. Get it down.
Now they're going to reset. That's why the clock is stopped, and that's really a break for the Rams.
That was a command there by Fred Silva. Say, get it down.
The 30-second clock he's talking about.
To 15.
Not the other clock. Right. Not the game clock. And now they're running it down.
And the Giants are just going to stay in the huddle and run off those 7 more seconds and then take the 5-yard penalty.
Scoreboard clock now has less than 40 seconds remaining on it. You see it. And now they'll take that penalty. And the Rams will have 38 seconds when the Giants finally do snap the ball. No timeouts remaining.
Dave Jennings was over there giving some instructions.
Offense, delay.
Perkins has to be somewhat satisfied after not being able to implement all of his game plan that he had because of the severe wind conditions. Leroy Irvin back deep. Jennings standing there. The Rams have to put some pressure on here. No doubt about it. Gets it off the side of his foot and out of bounds at about the 42-yard line, where the Rams will still have 32 seconds left. And they put the ball in play, and Jennings is down.
I think he's all right. He looked like he saw that rush coming. He knew that he had to get rid of the ball, and then he just takes a tumble at the end of it. Let's see it again and see if he even gets hit. You see, they had 10 men up in the line of scrimmage. He knew he just had to get it off. Now it's off, you see, and it didn't look like he was touched, and he went into that act to try and draw the penalty.
Here's Hayden back quickly, scrambling, throwing. He has Denard. Couldn't hang on, incomplete. Had it in the hook of his arm, but couldn't hang on. 26 seconds left to play.
That was just a little behind him, but it would have been interesting had he completed that ball there in the 30, whether the Rams would be able to get that field goal team in time. Now, we saw this happen in Detroit against the Dallas Cowboys, where they ended up with 12 guys in the field, and the interesting thing is the same officials.
Chicago beat Minnesota 10-9. To Dallas 10-9 Thanksgiving Day. Here comes Lawrence Taylor on the blitz again. His pass incomplete. Intended for Wendell Tyler, and there's still 21 seconds remaining on the clock.
Again, with that wind, all Pat Hayden has to do here really is complete one pass and get it up there to about the 35-yard line, which would be a 52-yard field goal, and the Rams could have a shot at it, but he's thrown two. Look at that wind.
Really done a number today, hasn't it? 21 seconds left to play. Hayden fumbles, can't find the handle. And the Giants have the football, and that will do it. The Giants will defeat the Rams. A recovery by Bill Neal.
I was surprised Bill Neal didn't keep that ball. Usually when those nose tackles ever come up with a football, they take it home with them. Let's see if we can see how this happens. Hayden, it looked like the ball may have been snapped a little lower. He just dropped it. Watch Neal there. He sees it. He's fighting off Saul, and he just jumps on it and says, it's mine.
And so that'll do it as Neal celebrates on the sideline. The Giants, after trailing for much of the game, 7-0 after the Rams scored the first time they had it, come back. They'll have this victory and even their record. They'll let it run out now. That's all she wrote. Scott Brunner, he's got the football. And again, congratulations to Ray Perkins and to these loyal fans who have survived and stayed today. From the Meadowlands then, saying so long for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall, where we have watched the Giants even their record, beat the Rams 10-7.
welcome those of you who have just watched the New York Giants down the Los Angeles Rams 10-7 as the Giants come back with 10 second-half points. The story that we have just reported to the other two markets is the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles have lost again for the third straight week to the Washington Redskins 15-13. We're going to have all the scores for you as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
For the special times, for the happy times, for what's been, for what will be. For all the years and all the tears, for what you mean to me. For all you give me, a diamond, and forever I give to you.
Don't you have more than Christmas to celebrate? Give her a diamond.
Sorry, no experience, no job.
But where do I get the experience?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience, we give it. You won't read it in a book, you live it. Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place, it's a great place to start.
Blue Stratos unleashes the free spirit in man.
Unleash the spirit.
A unique spirit of freedom experienced only with Blue Stratos cologne.
Blue Stratos.
Brisk, bold, adventurous.
Blue Stratos.
Unleash the spirit.
The free spirit in man.
Blue Stratos.
Unleash your spirit.
Next weekend, don't miss a minute of the excitement here on CBS Sports. Saturday, a special NFL contest as the tough Minnesota Vikings meet the surprising Detroit Lions. Also on Saturday, get into the spirit with a regional edition of NCAA basketball, featuring Wake Forest at Marquette and USC at Long Beach State. Then on Sunday, it's a big day of NFL doubleheader action as the Philadelphia Eagles battle the Dallas Cowboys in a crucial NFC match. Explosive matchups, important outcomes, all next weekend on CBS Sports.
So the Los Angeles Rams are knocked out of the NFL playoff picture for the first time in almost a decade. They lose to the New York Giants 10-7 as the Giants put 10 points on the board in the second half of that game. The Green Bay Packers, winners of 4 of 5 in November, are continuing their winning ways. They are going to down Detroit 31-17. And because of this next score, Chicago over Minnesota 10-9, it means that Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay will be all even at 500. But Tampa Bay still has a game left today against Atlanta. If the Buccaneers win it, they would move into first place in the NFC Central. Over in the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins continue to stalk the New York Jets 24-14. And remember, if the Dolphins and Jets are tied, the Jets would win the tiebreaker because the Jets have beaten the Dolphins once and tied them a second time. Neil Lomax, the rookie from Portland State, has won for the fourth straight time as the St. Louis Cardinals down the New Orleans Saints 33, and now the Saints have a big one against the Green Bay Packers. And the Washington Redskins stun the Philadelphia Eagles 15-13. Even though they won, the Redskins cannot win a berth in the NFL playoffs this year, but the Eagles have not clinched, and they have that key showdown in Dallas against the Cowboys next Sunday on CBS. The Cowboys, meanwhile, continue to roll. They lead Baltimore right now 27-13. They are going to win the NFC East going away. San Francisco continues to sport their gaudy record. 21-3 over Cincinnati is the final, and that is the lowest point total of the year for the Bengals. I believe Houston had held them to 7 points earlier this season. So that wraps it up. The playoff picture is still up in the air, and next Saturday on CBS at 1:30 Eastern Time, it'll be Wake Forest against Marquette. Then we'll follow with the NFL Today. Those of you on the West Coast will see USC against Long Beach State after the football showdown, and it's a dandy. It's the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. The Vikings and Tommy Kramer suddenly are floundering. Can they get their act back together? How about the Lions? They were ambushed after leading Green Bay by 10. Can Billy Sims put them back in the hunt for an NFC Central title? We'll find out. It's all next weekend on CBS. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today. I'm Brent Musburger on behalf of all of us at CBS Sports. Have a nice week.
You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League. The judge gave him 15 years to life for murder, but he didn't murder anyone. Even two of the officers on his case say it's a bad rap. 60 Minutes this evening on CBS.